and then YouTube is like, nah.
Yeah, I feel
All right,
that.
wait, am I live?
Woo!
Oh shoot, I forgot
I
to
just realized that I'm not technically
chat.
live yet until I hit the button. Kind of a nice thing
Okay.
actually, because then you
Okay,
can
I'm
actually
live
Yeah.
on
check to see if you're
YouTube.
actually doing good. Oh, there we go. Now it's ready.
I'm live. All right, I gotta get
Howdy,
Twitch
Blue's
open up.
chat.
Gotta get Twitch open up.
All right, I think we should be live now. Yeah. How's everyone doing, guys? And welcome back to another live stream. I'm your host, Frenzy, and I am here with two beautiful gentlemen in Pluto and Icegold.
What's up?
Howdy.
And today we are going to be making a tier list of potential viability of the Arc 1 and Arc 2 spellements as of today. And I'm pretty excited for this one because I haven't really done anything like this before. But yeah, would you guys like to introduce who you guys are, like in case the chat doesn't know?
Hi, I'm Pluto, and I make bad Wizard101 content.
Howdy, rather. I'm Icegold, and I make Bad Wizard 1 content too.
Hey, let's go. We're on the same boat. The three amigos. The three
Yeah.
amigos of
The
bad
three
Wiz
whiz
content.
heads.
Yo, what's up, Dylan? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, this is gonna be a live segment. I was thinking of making a video to this, but it don't matter. We could just do either or.
What's up, Ronzo? Cool.
Yeah, let's see. Trying to get
Okay.
your volumes up a little bit.
Okay, so anyone watching on my end, if you guys want to actually see the tier list, I would go to Frenzy's stream for it. I'm just kind of chilling in the comments, and I'm gonna be looking at the spells. But if you guys want to actually see what the tier list is looking like, I would recommend just pulling up Frenzy's stream. Link is in the description.
Thanks.
Thank you. I'll make sure to link you guys their channels as well once the stream is done. That's like the one thing I forgot, but I did tag you guys, so they should be able to just click on the tags in the description. Probably should have gotten a notification, probably, but I'm not too sure on that one. But yeah, let's get started. So we're gonna go by the order of the rank 1s all the way to rank 10. Last one being King Artorius, pretty much for every school. Obviously we have the vanilla tier. We're just gonna get this out of the way real quick before anyone starts asking. Now, what is considered the vanilla tier? It is going to be any damage slash AoE known to man, no weighing. Because, yeah, that's literally going to be the meta. The meta is literally nothing but damage. It is a very simplistic game, very stats-based game, so of course this is going to be better than anything. But with that being said, since we got that out the way, let's start with the rank 1 spell elements. So I guess we could just start with the Storm one. What's everyone's thoughts on Thundersnake?
Okay, wait, let me pull it up. I still let you go first.
Okay. I'm looking at Frenzy stream with this. So, meat damage, meat utility.
Yep.
Yeah, no, this spell
I don't-
sucks.
Yeah.
So the problem of Thundersnake really is the fact that literally almost no boss that I know of, or even enemy that I know of, will actually use a heal over time, with the exception of maybe one boss I can think of, and that's in the cheat in not Darkmoor, but in Chrysalis, and that's kind of it. You just won't be using this anytime soon. So yeah, we're putting this where it belongs, in the garbage tier. So next we got Bloodbat. So what's everyone's thoughts on Bloodbat?
Meat damage, meat utility.
Yeah,
It's gonna be pretty much a
I have
theme
to
with
agree.
the 1 pips. I mean, I don't.
For the most part, but some of them are good. Some of them are good.
Yeah. No, I would say
But yeah,
garbage.
obviously, also garbage tier right here. We have Imp next. Now, me personally, I think Imp is going... Okay, here's my thing. I think it belongs probably between situational or decent. I would say maybe go down to situational. I could see where this might be actually pretty usable. Let's say, you happen to use a regen and you need an emergency heal. You can definitely use this as some sort of way to have that emergency heal on you. And in other cases, it could also be where you could use that as a combo for removing any sort of weaknesses while still getting the healing that you need. So that's why I kind of put it maybe around situational to decent. But I would just stick with situational for me.
Yeah, I'd
I
probably
like
say
that.
situational with it too. I don't really know how much it would
Yeah.
be used, but yeah, I'd probably put it there.
I would say like the main purpose will probably be like if you use like regen. Like I tend to use regen a lot when it came to like a lot of the Wallaroo bosses.
Oh
I
yeah.
know it's just because I needed some sort of heal because I'm not gonna use Grendel's Amends. I'm gonna use something that's somewhat decent, so we'll use the availing hands, or it could be like a regenerate. And there are some situations where it's like, oh, I need a full health, but I got weakness, or there's a shield that's like a tower shield or something. I could just remove it off easily. Next one, Frost Beetle. I would say this will go in decent tier. I feel like the fact that it could be like any shield, it could literally be like you have a set shield on, and with that set shield, there's always going to eventually be like one of them that you won't use. So you can use this as like some sort of like, shield breaker, but also give you that shield that you need desperately. So it's like kind of like a hybrid of like offense and defense.
So I'm a complete
As
noob in PvP. So I don't know if this is any good in PvP, but for me it seems like it'd be pretty good because if you use like an Ellie shield with it, let's say it's like an off scroll to the scroll you're going up against, you get rid of a shield, get a free 65 shield. I don't know. I feel like that's pretty good. I feel like that's
I
a good
think
yeah,
the
thing.
utility does buff up, doesn't it? I could be wrong on that one. Doesn't the utility get increased a little bit as you level it up, or is it just the damage?
it used to. It used to be 50 a 50 chromatic shield at the first tier, and then it would go to 65 at tier 5. But in early February, or maybe it was the Nightmare update, that's when they changed it to be a standard 65 across the board, which I really liked, and I think I agree that it goes in the decent tier. It's like Pluto was saying. I mean, I don't want to get too much into PvP here, but it is very, very good because you can use, as like Pluto was saying, like you can use a double shield, like you can use a volcanic shield against a fire boss, and the
Mm,
fire boss, he'll hit the fire shield off, and then you can frost beetle, turn the storm shield into a fire shield, and only lose 5% value on it. So I think that is really, really great. It also takes off weaknesses and
yeah.
shields, which I think is really, really great. That's a massive
So
part of it.
to do a little bit of fact checking, turns out that yes, the current apparently this one's changed. It changed to a minus 65% now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the chromatic.
it. They
Yeah,
buffed it. It's
Yeah,
they
that's what
chromatic
I'm
have.
as
looking
well.
at.
Yep.
It's been chromatic, but well, I think it's universal, right? It's been universal, not chromatic, but now it's a
It is
chromatic now.
chromatic. It is chromatic.
Ooh. With that being said,
I
I
don't know.
mean,
That's pretty good.
I still
Yeah,
probably
that's
keep it
really
around
good.
decent. I say that's
Yeah.
like high decent. Like I would say it's really close to amazing, but for now we'll just keep it at high decent, high decent.
Yeah. It's not great with
Okay.
buffs, but I would say high decent.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Okay, so next one, Fire Cat, pretty decent one in my opinion. There's a lot of bosses that tend to like to use tower shields, like Ice, for example. Ice bosses love to use it. I've done this a lot where I tend to combo with like a skeletal dragon, and just being able to get that detonate off is always really useful. The only time I could say that it's like really negative is in situations you try to rely on feint stacking, which can be an issue. But if your main goal is just to go through the tower shield and still do damage, this is where Firecat can shine. Um, the only reason why I may even put a little lower is mainly because of the next spell we're gonna be going over sometime in the future, which is Troll. So I would
Oh
say
yes.
I'd maybe put it like in the middle here, from decent situational. What do you guys think?
I okay, I did want to mention one boss, Omen's Three Bug in the River of Frozen Tears in Polaris.
Ooh, yeah.
The strat that Prisma, a friend of mine, he created this strat where you do your thing, the fire scalds, but you have to kill the Sentinel, or Omen and them take like no damage. So
Oh,
you
interesting.
using yeah, so you detonate the fire cat on the Sentinel, and then the Incendiate is able to do the work on the rest of them. So personally, I think that's it's like it's a situation where you can use it. So it's like for a lot of spells, there's not a situation where you can reasonably use it
That's
for,
true.
for fire cat, and this is like really really good in that situation. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like it.
I'd probably put it in decent as well. I mean, like
Decent.
yeah, I'd probably put it in decent. Like I still said, I can see a situation where this can be used, and also
Yeah.
like the it breaks the shield, detonates an OT. I don't know. That's pretty good utility. I think that's pretty
Yeah.
good. So I'd put it decent. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then I guess we'll just raise it up then to where it belongs in a decent tier. I also like that it's cheap.
Nice.
The cheap cost is definitely really useful, so it's always going to be something that like everyone can enjoy to an extent. Next one, we got Dark Sprite. We don't need to talk about that. Garbage.
We really don't.
We really don't. All right, next one. Scarab. I think this one belongs in situational.
Swap one
What do you
blade.
think?
Yeah,
It does the
don't see
damage,
how
and then it swaps the blade.
useful. Don't
So
really
like
see
in
how
the
it'd be
case where
useful.
it's like, hey, if you're going against like a fire boss and he happens to somehow stack blades of the same kind, because that tends to happen, especially if you have a minion on that's not as smart. And let's say he decides to go for an E-free. Okay, boom, you got the weakness breaker, and then you get that fire blade for you. You know, there's some situations where you might use it, you just won't use it often.
Yeah, I like situational for that.
I'd probably
Bill,
put
what
it
do
in
you think?
trash. I don't see how I would use this at all.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I can respect that
so-
too.
Okay, so what? Okay, you're gonna be like the deciding factor. What do you think, Icegold? Like for real, for real. You think it's gonna be a situation, or it's just absolute garbage? No one's gonna use it.
Well, if we're talking PvE, I guess I lean a little more towards Pluto.
Okay,
Like,
in that
could
case,
be,
yeah, majority rules. We're gonna put it in trash.
yeah.
I
Fair
think it's
enough.
decent though. Sorry about that. I was getting called for something. Okay, next one. We got lightning bats. We're gonna start with the rank twos now.
Lightning
Oh, boy.
Bats. You see, here's the thing, right? As a person who does decathlon every now and then, I tend to use this spell every now and then. I really don't like the fact that its accuracy is so stupendously low, which I understand Storm, but as much as I kind of like the utility, I really don't like the consistency. It lacks a lot of consistency with its accuracy. Even though the effect is okay, the fact that you can only remove like maybe one DOT is kind of an issue for me with like its low accuracy. I probably put this PvE wise. Keep in mind, guys, we're doing PvE based. Trash.
Right. I
Why
mean,
do they have the accuracy increase on the top path but not the bottom path?
that's what I'm saying.
I
My
don't get
thing-
it. You would think it'll be lower because it's like, oh yeah, it's Storm, do damage, go burr, and it's gonna do insane damage now. But no, there's the utility that still gets like the same accuracy.
Hey, Linguine
Mid
Rat.
mostly.
Linguine Rat, why are you saying common Wizhead Pluto L? I have the right takes, the absolute right takes about spells.
Twilight,
So true.
My takes are final, all right?
I have
Yeah,
the best
put
takes.
Lightning
do
Bats is
wanna-
trash.
I'm
Trash.
sorry not to do it.
Lightning
I
Bats.
did want to mention that one quick thing. Lightning
Okay.
bats. So, let's say that there's an Azteca boss that decides to use a Spinosaur on you for 10 whole pips.
Okay.
So you use lightning bats, and you outvalue. You gain 8 pips of value
Okay.
for 2 pips. It's like
Okay.
it's such overtime removal is just such an insane thing in the game. And I mean, we'll talk about Kraken later, but in my honest opinion, it is. I would put lightning bats in like A tier just off of that alone, because overtime removal, non-protected overtime removal, it can just completely shred an overtime and put weaknesses on the target. It's like I will always advocate for overtime removal being in like A tier plus.
I mean,
That's just me, though.
I mean that's a fair take. I just think the like, yeah, sure, the lightning bats will give you like more bang for your buck in terms of like removing overtimes, but it's the fact that like the accuracy is so low. I just can't rely on it like decently to where the effect is gonna be worthwhile for a comparison. If I could just like have like a triage TC. It's mainly
That's
the
fair enough.
accuracy I have an issue with lightning bats. It's the accuracy issue. That's it. Like I think the utility is like fine. If anything, I will probably upgrade it to situational. At
That's
best.
fair enough. That's fair.
Someone in my chat said they look cool though. Bats remind me of Batman, and Batman reminds me of man. So I don't know. I don't know. I think he might have a good point there.
He's
Fair
speaking
point.
the language of gods.
We're upgrading in that. No, I'm kidding. It's staying
I would say
situational.
in
Okay,
situational.
Pluto, what do you
yeah.
think?
I would say
Okay,
either
situational?
situational to trash, probably. Yeah, I'd probably say situational. I can see situations where
I
I
say
would use it.
situational.
Yeah.
Like after hearing like the whole thing with Ice Gold, I have to kind of agree. Like, there's definitely still some situation you use it. It's a gamble, but better than nothing is kind of where I
Yeah.
go with.
It's like if you're a
Uh,
storm using it, then it's like insanely good.
that is true. That is true. All right, next one we have is Troll. Now this one easily amazing.
Okay, wait. Remind me.
It's just like, what else do I have to
Okay,
say?
I don't have troll. I don't have any troll spellements. So remind me what troll does again. 'Cause
If you
Oh,
happen to have like
boy. Can I
shields
take
on
this
your,
one?
okay, yeah, sure, go ahead. The PvP man gets to speak
All
today.
right, I had to rub my hands together for this one. So troll, it does meat damage, but if you have two shields on you, it will gambit them to add 25% extra damage to an overtime detonate per shield. But it's bugged right now. So it does, rather than like a 1.5 times multiplier like it should be doing, it does a 2.25. And I hope there's no devs watching the stream because I will be abusing this in Azteca on my ice for my budget walkthrough. I've already been doing it. I'm troll detonating snow angels here and there. It's like absolutely nuts for damage, and I would put this
I
in
hate to
Azteca.
So
boost
it's
your
literally
bubble, but I
just
think
better
they mentioned that
incendiate.
they updated it. I think they just fixed it actually.
You sure?
Yeah, I think it was on the notes that it was adjusted to where it was supposed to be. That's why it's also like PvP allowed now.
Oh, it
Boo.
is PvP allowed?
Yeah, because they adjusted it to where it actually gives you the 1.5 multiplier max instead of the
It's
crazy
still really
2.
good though.
It's solid.
It
It's
was
solid.
literally
Yeah.
before better incendiate, and they nerfed it. Oh no.
Yeah, if they fix troll, that means they fix incendiate too. So
Swanity
Rip.
says they're
But it is
nerfing
so good.
incendiate. Are they nerfing incendiate?
Well, they're not nerfing incendiate. They're fixing it because Incend did twice what it was supposed to. It was the same problem as troll.
Oh.
But
Oh, yeah,
troll,
okay,
I
good.
still would advocate for it being an amazing tier just because it can detonate like for a 1.5 times multiplier. Like that is really really great. Maybe I'm just ice brain with that, but that's my take on it.
I use it all the time on my death walkthrough. It's like literally one of my favorite spells to combo with, and I could
Yeah.
probably see this used for like my fire, for example, that is DOT oriented. So yeah, it's a solid spell all around.
Yeah, I'd probably put it decent to good. I would say decent to good for it. Before the nerf though, I'd probably go like the top tier. Honestly, that sounds like
Yeah,
that's just better.
yeah,
That was just better.
it-
Incendiate.
It'd probably be like above the vanilla tier if I can actually go all the way higher, because of how crazy it was. But we got Leprechaun. I'm actually leaning between these two, either decent or amazing. I do like the trap removal, and you get some survivability with the heal. It's not much, but anything counts really. But it's the fact that you have that trap removal, which is really nice. But what do you guys think?
I wish it gave another heal over time.
Oh, instead of like just being one single one, just two of them. Like,
Yeah, that's why
yeah,
I love Fire Elf. I can see it coming up, and I'm about to put it like really high up. But
yeah,
if
I will too
Leprechaun,
actually.
yeah, if Leprechaun just did the same and gave two heal overtimes, it would be so good. Yeah, but it doesn't. So I'm gonna put it in like
Yeah, it's
trash.
unfortunate.
Gave it a stack.
Trash,
I'll put it
okay.
in trash.
All right, Pluto, what do you think?
All right, so clears 2 traps for overtime. I'd probably put it situational. I don't really see it being used much in
Okay.
PvE. Yeah, no,
I feel you, I feel you.
situational. I would say.
Okay, that's fair. I feel like with the overall, it's probably going over here then. All right, Snow Serpent. I don't like it.
Trash.
Yeah,
Trash.
this is
Is there a
garbage.
tier below
Like,
trash?
Yeah, the Abyss.
The Abyss. Put it there.
Yeah, put it trash.
It's not even gonna be on the list anymore. It's gone.
It's not even gonna be on the list. Just like take it off the Photoshop thing.
All right,
No
Fire
follow.
Elf. I honestly really like it. I don't. Do we have any gambits that are like PVE viable that use overtimes? To my knowledge.
Hey, thank you to whoever followed. For some reason, it's not showing up.
Huh?
No, no, never mind.
I mean,
Oh,
for
from
the
your Twitch or
From
so?
my Twitch, yeah.
Yeah, I would
I
say it's probably like between these two maybe because it is cheap pip cost too. You gotta keep that in mind.
yeah, I mean 2 pips to take off a shield and apply 2 overtime. So I think it's really really good,
Pretty good.
and we've used it in raids, but
I think that counts. Yeah,
you
if you
know,
use it in rates, that hella counts.
yeah, it's much much better in advanced.
I remember
So I like it. I would put it in like amazing or decent just because of that.
when they originally came out with this spellment for the spell, it was like doing overtime on all enemies, and I just really liked that one. I don't know. I liked it better
Ooh.
because it was like a finisher for fire. If like some enemies survived on like low health, you could just finish them off. And then they kept changing
Yeah,
it,
you're right.
and now I'm just like, yeah, it's not as good as it
Ooh.
used to be. So I'd probably put
So
it situational. I'd say for this one.
situational. I would say we'll probably go to decent then for this one because like I honestly really like using this now. There are better ones now, but you also have to keep in
Yeah.
mind the pip cost is really low for this one, so it's like it's
That is
easily,
true.
you can use it a multitude of times in comparison to other spells. And the next spell we're gonna probably be going over in a bit, Sunbird. I actually do like the fact that it kind of kept its whole thing where it's like, hey, do more damage if there's like an overtime. Well, there you go,
Yeah.
you have an overtime. All right, Ghoul. And that one's pretty solid. Like I don't know what else to say. It's
Yeah,
gotta
I
be like,
think
probably up here.
I would put it in the vanilla bean tier. I'm gonna give it a stack. That's not even my
Vanilla,
peak brain. It's like
vanilla.
I know this is more PvE based, but I did a match it in sauce, and he absolutely decimated me with this spell. So think
Oh,
instead of
no.
get a little bit higher for that.
I
No,
mean,
it's crazy because
It's
it's
a
just
good
like even
spell.
in PvE, you basically just kind of get a blade for existing.
yeah, I mean it's like you
That's
you
literally
throw on a
it. You
tri
just
shield.
exist.
Yeah, you throw on a tri shield. You break a shield on the target with this spell. You get 230 blades, and it's
Yep.
nuts for that. I would
Yep.
definitely put it in in vanilla bean tier.
Alrighty. All right, next
Like it's
one.
not the
A
Pluto.
scorpion. Oh yeah, Pluto. What do you think?
Oh wait, I'm sorry about Ghoul.
Cool.
I
Ghoul.
pretty much already said I would put it in what's the tier above decent? I'm sorry. Um,
Oh, amazing.
oh, amazing is above
Amazing.
decent. I would just put it in decent then. I don't know if I'd put it in
You put it in
amazing.
decent.
Yeah, I'd put it in
Okay.
decent.
Well, I think it's amazing. He thinks it's vanilla. I think we'll
Yeah,
just
we can.
we can reserve the vanilla for what's set in the top. No weighing, AOE. Wow, crazy damage.
Yeah,
Wow.
fair enough.
Scorpion. It's okay. It's fine.
There's spells that do this but better.
Yeah, that's my thing.
So I would call it situational personally.
Situational, Pluto.
Yeah.
Okay, wait one sec. Let me pull Scorpion up real quick.
Yeah, sure.
It's like Splash Squash does the same thing,
But
but
it's
like
just
a
so
lot
much
more
better.
damage.
Oh my god.
Okay, I don't have Scorpion
I know.
spellments either. All right, that's why I couldn't find it.
So, long story short, it does the swap thing before it does the
Yeah.
damage.
Okay. Does it
But then
swap?
it loses a lot of damage because it swaps before.
But you do get a shield.
Yep, that is nice.
I'd probably put that. Maybe situational. Yeah.
All right, I guess we all agree it's situational tier. All right,
Yeah.
next one, Storm Shark, easy. I mean, at least for
Mark.
me, it's easy.
Storm Shark.
It's a lot of damage, dude. Like
I know
a
this
lot
spell
of
does
storm spells
so
now
much.
have been based on like doing healing overtimes, and there's so many moments you can actually make a healing overtime to just make it do an insane amount of damage, and it's a big increase too. It's not like no small increase;
Yeah.
it's a huge increase in your damage.
Yeah, no, this
It's like
spell
the
is good.
conditional. Yeah, the conditional is really great. The problem is setting it up. And because it's like real hard to set it up while the spell is still relevant, like in the early game,
Hmm.
I would put it because it's like good, but not like situational, you know. So I would be putting it like in between. I don't know. There's ways you can work with it. Like a new berry surprise, I think could put it into the
Yeah,
decent tier.
that will help a lot.
Yeah.
But for now,
Doesn't like the teacup also give healing overtimes as well?
it does.
But that's like end game kind of thing, like
Yeah.
if we're thinking about like majority of the levels beforehand, like how else are you gonna get a
Yeah,
lot of
it's
times
like
easily?
yeah, it's like that's part of what I'm basing my stuff off of. It's like the conditional is so good because it makes this 3-pip spell do mass, but getting the setup for that, it's like I was on about with Leprechaun. It's like if you could
Mhm.
counter 2 traps and get 2 heal over times, you could use that in conjunction with Storm Shark and like Crocotopia or something. But
True, true.
yeah, it's just it's not great right now. I would call it like situational. If the setups were way more accessible in the early game, I would definitely say put it up in amazing.
Yeah, I can see
Okay.
how like you
Yeah,
wouldn't really use this spell in like late game at all, and I can see where it's like hard
yeah,
to set up for early game. But I don't know, it does like a lot of
That's true.
damage though,
That's
so
true.
I'd probably
yeah.
put
That's
it
a lot of
in
damage.
decent. I'd probably put it in decent.
Decent. Okay, I think we'll probably have like an average of decent because I think it's amazing. But that's just me.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential for it.
Yeah, Evil Snowman. All right, easy. No, I'm kidding. It's going amazing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But still, it probably would have gone vanilla though. Like I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
just how good it
it's
is.
it's sort of like the old Snowman, except it's like it still has that counter where it counters weaknesses and stuff like that. In Dragonspire, I could see myself using this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
use
for
it all
sure.
the time. I use it in Decathlon. I use it when I do my walkthrough series, and I even use it when I'm not doing my walkthrough series, like Novus and up, because it's just
yeah,
that freaking good.
You use
And it
this.
got better because they buffed the shield and removed the traps, which I don't know
yeah.
why the heck the traps were there in the first place.
You use this for balanced decathlon. Due to the
Oh,
two
oh yeah.
weaknesses, dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude, it's insane.
I'd put it amazing. I'd put this one in
I
amazing.
would as well. It's like even right
For
now it's
instances.
amazing, but this it's like it's so good.
Let's see. Did I skip a spell? I think I skipped a couple spells. Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Cyclops. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like it. I don't like
Yeah,
this one.
Cyclops used to be good with like deferred overtimes, but with what they're doing with those now, I don't know if I like it. Because it's like a 50 trap, a 50 overtime trap is a 50 overtime trap, and you get 3 of them if you have an overtime on. So it's like it would be good if deferred dots were better, is where I'm
Yeah.
coming from. So I would say
I just don't
situation.
like the
Trash.
playstyle. The playstyle
Yeah,
just is so weird to me. It's just like, nah, I'm not feeling that one.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. This
Yep.
spell's situational to me. I don't really see how damage over time traps are very useful. I guess. I don't know. I don't really see
yeah,
Cyclops being used that much.
I mean, and even then, it's like right now we're kind of moving away from, hey, here's like one overtime that just does a ton of damage. No, now we have here like multiple overtimes that do a lot of damage, but they're like kind of spread out. So like they're harder to remove, but like to compensate for that, to not make it like extremely overpowered, well now they do less damage per tick kind of thing. So
As
it's like, I
yeah.
don't know.
Isaiah says that
It's
this
like
is more of
OG.
a fire spell. This should have been like a fire spell.
I feel that. It's like
Yeah,
OT traps with what they're doing with overtimes, where there's more overtimes and just splitting the damage across. It's like you can't use the traps themselves um,
yeah, that's
for that
true.
much.
I was
It was better
thinking like
before.
I was thinking this would be good for maybe like a dual school type of thing if you were trying to go for that, but it's traumatic, so it's like you get
It
myth
is
traps for
chromatic.
it basically. So yeah, I don't
Well, even
know.
if it's like a dual school setup, I think the setup takes like, quite a while to even do. Like, I
Yeah.
think the
Yeah.
only one that can do it like kind of consistently is like fire, but for some reason they just gave it the myth.
Facts.
Yeah, I'd put it
So what are
situational
we
to
thinking?
trash. Situational
I'm
to
kind of
trash.
thinking trash. I'm kind of thinking trash in my opinion.
Yeah, with Pluto here.
Yeah, I'll put it.
I'm on the
Alright.
I'll
I'm not
say
seeing
I'll
the
say
intro.
I'll be willing to go down to trash for it.
Yeah.
Trash. All
Trash,
right,
yeah.
cool.
It,
All right,
it, it was
nature's
better before.
wrath. Yeah, it was nature's wrath. What are we feeling about this one?
In conjunction with Fire Elf, I would say it's decent, but it's just one of those that's tough to set up and not really too viable in the early game.
Yeah, you can't
That is
really
true.
use this. I mean, if the utility was like, if what you needed to, if you didn't need to get damage over times, it's like
Yeah.
life doesn't really have a low pip damage over time besides really Sucre, and I
Yeah,
don't
was that the
know.
Patty
Yeah.
Mobile I just saw?
What's up, Liam?
That's very true.
A Patty Mobile, bro. I was thinking situational for this though.
Yeah,
I'd
I'm kind of
say
thinking around the same realm
situational.
because you can still set it up somehow, but it's
Yeah,
a
you
little
need
tough.
like
I can't
IRL
really
for
put
it.
it in trash because I could see some use for it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
All
say
right.
situational.
Sunbird. I'd probably go in between decent to amazing because you only need one overtime to be on to do extra damage.
Personally, I'm the decathlon player, so I don't know if it gets used there. But in my experiences, I would put this just in trash. Like I will keep it a
That
stack.
bad, huh?
It's like you would need like an aura and a bubble to really make good use of that.
I mean, fair.
It's
That's
my
a fair
take.
point.
Storm playable at last. I don't know. I would put this. I would put Sunbird. I would honestly put it in decent. I mean, I don't think that the damage over time is really that hard to get for fire, and you get a decent amount of damage. I'd put it maybe situational to decent. I would say.
This
for
is
it.
like literally the most early game spell of early game spells. Like this is
Yeah,
like the definition of an early game spell. So yeah, I'll probably just move it down to situational.
fair enough.
Banshee. This used to be actually a really freaking solid spell. I mean, it was
Yeah.
broken
Is
as
this the
hell,
is this the one
but
that gives
it
the
was a
weaknesses?
super solid spell. It did the weakness and the infection. It basically did like four things because
Yeah.
it was like a 2-in-1 special.
It would set up a curse gambit in one turn if the person had two blades, which is nuts.
Hey, welcome to the
So
stream,
now that
Gendry.
it's been nerfed, now that it's been nerfed, I don't
My
know.
opinion.
I mean, if you're looking
Legit,
at
I'm
it
not even
from
kidding.
a if you're looking at it from a PVE perspective, it's probably going in like trash or situational, I guess. But for like
I
a
would agree with
PvP perspective, I don't know. This spell's probably pretty good.
Okay, here's my argument. My argument is blade removals are very huge. A lot of
Yeah.
enemies love to blade. Being able to do this could be really interesting. Now, we will get into this about Kraken. This is still probably like one of the very slightly effective ways to set up a Kraken Gambit so you can actually use it for Shark. Now, it's one of those cards that, like, maybe you can set up something later down the line, but even if you don't want to like, go with the Gambit route, you can just simply use this for the sake of just removing blades without having to use like other spells that like you may not have access to.
Yeah, I mean,
Isaiah says
I don't know.
Banshee
It's a
is
good blade removal
busted.
card. Banshee is busted right now, but in test realm, it's not
It
as busted.
is. It's not as
Yeah.
good anymore.
I'd probably just put it in the middle tier, whatever that one is. I think it's probably like
Yeah, I agree
situational.
with Frenzy and Pluto here. I would say situational for the new
All
Banshee.
right. This one, I'm not gonna lie with y'all. I kind of have a feeling it's going here.
Oh, what, in trash? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, hey, swap the trap, and it's like, okay, that's kind of used. I mean, literally, Leprechaun is just better. Let's keep it a buck. The secondly, right? It's like, oh, hey, the trap is swapped now.
Wait,
Okay, now I do some extra damage with it.
what
Nice.
spell you guys
Chromatic
shot?
damage, too.
What? Yeah, Locust Swim. Is that what you guys are talking about?
Yeah.
Locust
Yeah.
Swim. Okay. Yeah, no, I'd probably put it situational. I don't know. I don't see myself using that at all. Situational
I'd
is
say
trash.
Yeah.
Democracy rules trash.
Yeah, bro.
Kraken. This mainly just
This
because of
used to be
Storm
really
Shark,
good,
in my
right?
opinion.
Is it
It's
still
probably
good?
going over here.
It used to be good, but they swapped the util with Stormzilla.
Because yeah, they used to be the
Yeah.
overtime weakness, overtime for weakness. You move an overtime, you get a pretty good weakness out of it.
Yeah.
But now it's just like,
At least you
Move
can
two
combine.
weaknesses.
My thing is like you can combine this with Banshee though. Could be pretty fire.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so do either of y'all know if the overtimes, or the heal overtimes rather, not boosting off of outgoing has been fixed? Because if not, then I would call this trash.
I have no idea.
yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, it's a problem that Trius Strife has as well. It's like the heal overtimes, they don't boost off of outgoing. So I personally would put this new Kraken in trash just off of that. It's like it could be situational if it healed for a little more, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Pluto.
Situational for me. I don't see
Okay,
see
so we
myself
got-
using it much, but yeah.
too situational, so I guess we'll just keep it there for now.
That's fair enough.
Democracy rules.
It can be useful for the whole Storm Shark thing that you were on about, but I feel like it's too many pips for that.
Liam says,
It kind of is though.
"Hey Liam, if you wanted to join the VC, we're in the WizTubers Discord, by the way. If you wanted to give your takes on it,
We're talking purely just like on PVE at most, like maybe advanced content,
Yeah,
like raids, but not PvP.
But yeah, he said Kraken works, but they nerf effects. You remove 2 weaknesses for 1 heal. Okay, so
it's 2 weaknesses for 1 heal. Okay, trash, below
Oh,
trash.
trash.
Give it.
Trash.
Put wherever Snow Serpent went, put it there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
probably-
Abyss.
Probably trash.
Oh, God.
It's gone.
It's off the tier list now.
You know, I
It's like,
really
the thing
want
with
to love
Ice
this.
Forge.
Man, I really want to love this spell, and it's actually kind of decent, like at least early game. But it's like minions just aren't the wave, man. Like
Yeah.
I want to love it so much because like they actually did pretty good with like the minion. It's just like, oh, once I get past like not even like maybe like Celestia, like at Celestia they'll just get one shot. They get sneezed on and die. It's just, it's really hard to put it here because I actually
I
kind
would
of
not call it a viable spell.
but it's just not viable. No.
It's like minions just in general are sort of like that. If we could control what they do, then it would be really, really great because, you know, starting a minion off with 4 pips. Or not 4 pips, but like extra health. I don't even know what I'm on about.
Society, if we control mediums, it's like advanced civilization.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've ever used minions as a myth, so I'm just gonna go with trash. Honestly, I don't think they've ever been.
Sounds good.
They've ever been worth
good.
it.
Oh, here's another blade removal. I would say this is pretty decent. Ice Wyvern.
Oh yeah, Wyvern. Wyvern is really good for ice specifically.
I would say like between these two, but I would say just because it's mainly ice, it's probably going here.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it too high just because of that. If it was chromatic traps, then it would easily be like vanilla.
Yeah,
bean, but-
amazing.
I would probably put Wyvern in decent. I like the utility it gives for ice. I can see myself using it a little bit, so I'd probably put it in decent.
Sounds fair. Sounds fair. This one probably put it right here with Storm Shark, maybe in the middle around here, just because like life can actually
Sheriff.
set it up a little bit. But I'll probably put it
Life-
over here just because the damage.
Time. I don't know. I've personally never used Seraph. I would.
Yeah, I would
Like, I
say
took the
early
damage
game
out on
wise,
this.
early game wise, like it probably belong over here. Even like a little bit later towards the end game, you could probably like still somehow set it up a little bit, but it'd probably go here.
You could set up. Was it the Nature's Wrath that was the damage over time with it?
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah,
damage
you
over
do
time,
the-
but this is
you
based
do
on
the
healing over
healing.
time,
Yeah, yeah.
and you can just have like a leprechaun to kind of set that up for you, kind of.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like-
true.
I
Oh, wait,
think
how
like
many
an
rounds
elemental
does the
trap should be able to
leprechaun
do it.
I'd say.
How many
Oh, my
times
bad.
does the leprechaun, or how many rounds does the leprechaun overtime heal for?
Dude, I wished I remembered.
Yeah,
I
see if
could
I
have
can-
sworn I was given 2 one time, but I think it
5
was just
rounds.
one. They just
5
buffed the
rounds.
heal.
5
5
rounds.
rounds. Okay, so
I would put Seraph in decent, in my opinion. I'd put it
I
in
don't know.
decent.
I'm a trash fan myself of this.
We are
Yeah,
very
yeah.
divided on Seraph.
Yeah.
I know. I like the damage.
Setting it up, you know.
I don't know. The damage is decent though. It's like even for like a fairly early
Yeah.
game spell, it's kind of decent. I
Janji,
would say
we
this one
are,
has way more viability though, just because the damage is just insane.
Janji, we are
Yeah,
going
the
to be
damage
going
can
through.
go up a lot.
We're going through all the spells, Janji. So we'll get to the death spells as well. We're going through
Yeah, I
basically all
think-
the Arc 1 and Arc 2 spells.
I might move it up to situational just because even if you have like 1 heal over time, like if you sprite into it, maybe it could be good. So
I would say
I'll
if we're
say
considering
situational
more
final
towards
answer.
the end game, I'll probably I'd say like if we're considering more towards the end game, then yeah, I'd say put it over there. Immolate, how are we feeling about this one?
this is a really good trap counter.
It is.
Let me pull it up here.
And it
I'm not
sets
sure how I
up
feel about
an
the
overtime
overtime
gambit.
part, but it's like traps is nice. Like this, like the fact that it's a really good trap counter is like the fact that it's not a gambit is like what makes it better than like a lot of them.
Yeah.
I would
It's a
put
solid
this.
counter.
I would put this in decent. I think. I like the trap counter with it, and yeah, decent. I would say for it.
All right. We have like a whole Skittles now with all these spells.
Yeah.
Vampire. Yeah, that's just.
Vanilla
Yeah,
Bean.
it's just. Yeah, if anything,
Is
it'll
this
probably
the
be
spell
Vanilla
that
Bean,
Sauce used against me the other day, and it gave me the minus 60 weaknesses? Yeah, vanilla bean
The
for that
60
one.
weaknesses are nuts.
you
And
still have a pretty good drain, which I
yeah,
think that could be enchanted still in damage in PvE. I'm not too sure on that one.
yeah,
Dude,
it's like you get
Maybe more powerful
2k
weakness.
drain value, you put
Sauce
60s on the opponent.
Sauce used this against me in a PvP the other day, and my heart sank when I saw the 60 weaknesses for Storm. I was just
You're
like,
like, it's
dude,
over,
what do I
guys."
do? What do I
It's
do at that
over.
point?
Chromatic 60s, especially with how cheap the setup is, like
Mm-hmm.
I would say this is undoubtedly Vanilla Bean.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
like even in
Yeah.
PvE, it's like if you need to weaken that Azteca boss, it's just 1 3-fold, and there you go. Chromatic weaknesses. I think for the dual school mobs and bosses that start in Mirage, I think it puts 60s on for both of their schools. I think that's how that works. So
Really?
We're gonna
I
get
can't
to the
remember.
Vanilla Bean in a bit for sure, because I feel like we can
Yeah,
move some of them up there.
yeah, that's facts. But our first entry into the Vanilla Bean is the most overpowered card in the game, so you know how it goes.
All right. How are we feeling about Gearhead for PvE?
For PvE, it's a shift, so amazing by default. I'm playing, but like shift,
Wasn't
a
this
shift
a...
and a steel heal over time like a snowdrift. It's like that alone is honestly kind of nuts.
I feel like I'm having a Mandela
But it's
effect
like
here, but was this spell originally a hidden bubble? Wasn't this originally a hidden bubble, or am I just
I
like...
think it was a
You
hit
talking
and
about the
delete
minion
bubble.
card or
The
not? I
Gearhead
think it's something else.
Destroyer. Gearhead Destroyer. I don't know. I don't really see
I don't
myself using
remember.
the swap heal
I
over
think you're
time.
thinking of Clockwork Spider.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
maybe
Clockwork
that's what I'm
Spiders, what
thinking
you're
of.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Clockwork Spider.
I would put this
But yeah,
spell in a situational trash because I don't see myself using the swap mechanic at all in PvE.
I'm
I
thinking.
mean, if we
Well, 'cause think about it, right? It's like what we talked earlier, or Icegold talked earlier about, like just being like the lightning bat situation, where it's like, yeah, but like doing something with like damage overtimes is pretty huge if it's like a really big one. So for me, I would say it's in the decent tier.
yeah, I would put it there too. From a PvE standpoint, I would say decent.
Purely just because like there's not much you could do with DOTs unless like you're a myth and you have like shift, or if you're like a life and you have triage, like just
Yeah,
purely.
and then this
Actually,
is shift for balance.
that is
So
that
Yeah.
is true. That is true. I didn't think about it like that. Yeah, I'll
All
I'll
right.
concede and put it in a decent. I'll concede for that one.
All right. All right. Stormzilla, can we agree this is pretty much kind of like vanilla?
yeah, I mean it has
DOT
it has the
removal, you
Kraken
literally get a
effect.
chromatic blade that's like insanely good.
Yeah, it's like it's nuts. I would say Vanilla Bean personally.
Now,
It's
don't
like
worry, guys.
protected overtime removal is nuts.
The
Did you
stuff in
just?
them amazing. They might move up to vanilla. I'm gonna keep it.
This
But
is this
some
is
of
going
these
vanilla.
might be
This
moving to
is
vanilla in a bit.
this spell is insane. You move two overtimes for 45 blades. Yeah, no, vanilla bean for that one.
Listen, listen.
Easily.
I'll take the gambit of like 30% chance of fizzing this just because the blades are that good, and it removes two. Unlike lightning bats, which only removes one, and like maybe some weakness.
Are the art 2
Yeah.
spell elements going to be in art worlds or the event thing? I'm pretty sure they're going to be in the final dungeons of all the worlds. So if you want to
Yeah.
farm
Does
this
that
art 2
actually
ones,
give? Okay, legit. Like, does that actually like give like all the spell elements? I'm assuming. Like, I wonder how that's gonna work and how many.
I'm assuming a
They'll
lot
also
of people are
trade.
gonna. I'm assuming a lot of people are gonna farm Trial of Spheres for
Probably.
those elements
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
because that's where the 7 pip
Uh,
is.
Yeah, or yeah.
Okay, I don't know how I feel about Minotaur. Like, it's okay. I just feel like the fire ones are like the fire shield removals are like better in my
I
opinion.
wish I had this against Mob or Flamewing yesterday. I'm gonna keep it a stack. Those chromatic traps and clearing like
That's what I
all the
like about it. Is
shields.
at least it's chromatic. At least it's chromatic trap.
I would advocate for this to be in Vanilla Bean, but I could see it going lower.
I would say this will go at decent because like there are some bosses like I think there's one in Imperia that
The
just
new
loves
Mayan
using
lion.
like
That
yeah,
one.
use like a ton of shields and I'm like, yo, let me just Minotaur my way through it and
Yeah.
just like put a bunch of traps on him, make them stack somehow. Also, I think you can enchant these for some reason. I'm not sure if that's intended or if it's a bug that you can't enchant them.
Might be a
Like last
bug.
time, you
PvE.
can it will show that it's enchanted, but like I think I calculated the damage. It doesn't do the damage that's
Oh, yeah.
enchanted. It's
Stone
weird.
Colossus had that problem
Uh,
too.
Frenzy, real quick, can you explain vanilla bean again? Because some people are asking what
Oh
vanilla
yeah.
bean is.
Vanilla
Vanilla
bean.
Bean. Okay, so Vanilla Bean is a tier where it's like it is just so good that it's essentially kind of like the definitive kind of meta. So what we have here on the side is like any damage in AoE known to man, because like obviously if we're talking about PvE, you probably won't use like 99% of these. We're talking about potential viability, but
Yeah.
obviously everyone knows that if you want to get through the game, you're literally just going to play into AoE, which is like the vanilla way of playing. It's like basically the most basic way of playing is what I'm trying to say.
All right. For
Hopefully that clears it
Minotaur,
up.
for my take on Minotaur, I think that this spell was just already inherently really good for PvE. But when you include the clear three shields, I don't know. That's either amazing to vanilla bean for me, for that spell. I'll put it in
Okay.
amazing.
I mean, I feel like yeah, it's a majority kind of rules. I since I'm going with decent, you guys are going with amazing. We'll go with amazing then.
Works for me. It
All
has
right,
actually been nerfed before.
I heard.
Yeah.
Earthwalker. I mean, DOT removal was pretty big. Like
Yeah,
I,
it's sort of
it's
like
just kind of, it's like between this.
yeah, it's like the reason why we put Stormzilla in Vanilla Bean is because it's like protected dot removal is like the best thing that any of these can do, but Stormzilla got way up higher because of the blades. This just gives two life specific overtimes. I don't know
Which
if
is
I would
kind
put
of
this
like
any higher
whatever.
than decent.
Does
'Cause
kind
it's
of
like,
I
help
would
with
it's sort of like a
say
stalling move, but
me
decent
no
is
like
probably more.
damage. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm more leaning towards this, but like, I want to see what Pluto thinks.
So with Earthwalker, I guess you could use it to set up like the Treant spell, right? The Nature's Wrath spell. But then again, I don't know. I don't
Oh, you
see.
have a point.
I don't really know how. Why would you like sacrifice the damage on Earthwalker when you can just like go top path with it for a Nature's Wrath spell? I don't know. I would put it probably situational to trash for Earthwalker.
I will say the good thing about this, like before anyone says anything, at least you have a 10% chance of fizzing. Now here you have a 30% chance, but you gotta keep in mind those blades are huge. But I'm still, even with that being said, I'll probably still keep it here. Blighthound. Honestly, if Banshee wasn't changed, I easily would have put it over here. If Banshee wasn't changed, but because now it's changed, I'm thinking like maybe here, maybe. Because the damage
Oh,
would have
what is
been really huge, and if Banshee wasn't necessarily changed, like if it still kept like those four weaknesses, that's like all you would need to have like an insane ice like DPS spell. But it's changed, so now it's like it's not as good as it used to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no,
mean, I
Banshee
personally
just
really like the conditional on it because it's like it's like you're saying, it does mass if you meet the conditional, but
Oh, then again, never mind. I thought this was on the enemy. I didn't read the card. Listen, man, the
yeah,
hieroglyphics,
its
man, is
weaknesses
insane.
on you.
Its weaknesses
yeah,
in
its
you.
weaknesses
No,
on you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, this
to
spell is
change my mind.
awful.
Yeah, I thought this was like on the enemy. Apparently, I can't read. I can't read pictures.
Personally, it's like this. I wish it would get buffed, but it's like for what it's worth. If there's like infections on you for whatever reason, then it's good.
Is this the first please buff?
I don't. How often
mean,
do like in
I would
PvE
say
do
so.
any enemies even cast infection? I don't even. I don't think how many. I don't think
Yeah,
enemies really
it's
even
like that's my
cast
thing.
it. So I would put it probably trash.
Not many.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they'll do weakness, and that's the thing you don't want.
Trash.
Yeah,
this
but
Technically,
it's
spell.
like if
this
it's the
count though.
same
If they do
weakness.
like the spirit diffuse or like the elemental diffuse, that technically counts.
Yeah, those they do
But
count.
that's like a very specific purpose. Like that's like a very, very like we're not even talking about situational to it. That's like once in a blue moon kind of moment.
Isaiah says that Blighthound is mid at best. So
Yeah. I didn't read the card initially. I thought this was like for the enemy for some reason. But yeah, I'm saying garbage. I'm saying garbage.
Yeah.
Honestly, please buff. Like, come on, give Ice something. I mean, we're gonna talk about that in a minute, but
Dude,
come
I
on.
cannot wait until we get to Frost Giant. I can't wait.
Yeah, we're almost,
Yeah.
we're almost there. We're almost there. Phoenix. I'm not the biggest fan of Gambits a lot of the time, just because I feel like they take way too long to set up at times.
Oh,
This is
Gambit's
one of those
trapped now.
situations. It's like gambiting like traps, which you can make an argument. Use elemental traps or like spirit traps, get it easily. But
I mean, that's just the same problem that I had with Snow Serpent. That's why Snow Serpent is off the map. It's like
So wait,
yeah, it's
the gambit for this spell is it just adds the heal over time, right? That's what it does.
I don't think
yeah,
it gives you
Oh.
multiple. I think it gives you like one. It's just
gives
like it does
Oh,
more.
I don't know.
If it gave multiple, I think it would have been better if it gave multiple.
Are we thinking off the tier list?
That's what I'm thinking.
PvE wise,
So,
it's going to the abyss.
PvE-wise,
you would
yeah.
never use it.
PvE and PvP wise, it's off the tier
Oh,
list.
this is the easy one. All right, cool. We don't have to talk about that one. Spectral Blast. Okay, could someone explain to me Echo? Like,
Oh,
I
wait.
actually.
Dude, I don't
kinda-
even know what Echo
I'm
does.
confused.
Okay, I want to talk about Pirate for a second. So,
Oh, okay, hold on.
Skeletal
Control
Pirate.
Z. Wait.
Yeah, so Skeletal Pirate, I actually.
Oh, I already put that. Hold on. There you go.
Skeletal Pirate is like. It's a really good heal overtime counter. It's like what they're doing with heal overtimes makes it worse. But the fact that you can get a 50, like up to two 50% tower shields, I like
That's
that.
pretty big. That's
Like,
pretty big.
Like I like that. It's like if you're going against like a boss or something that heals and uses like protected heal overtimes, uses multiple heal overtimes like the new spells and all that. It's like this is sort of a gambit stopper.
Actually, the more I think about it, we're going like past Wallaroo. I feel like we're gonna get to a point where maybe they're gonna be considering getting more heal overtime enemies for the sake of doing a gambit.
Maybe
So this might be one of the best cards here. So, with that being said, I'm thinking just like for the potential future, maybe keep it at situational.
I like that.
Yeah,
It's
I'd
like I see
probably put it
Triton,
at
which is the way better heal overtime counter, but for
Oh yeah,
Pirate, I
but
like
still.
situational.
I can see this spell going into decent, but I'll put it in situational too. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
a
situation's
Okay.
lot of
good enough.
potential with it.
All right, Mr. PvP guy, explain to us what Echo
Okay.
does.
So Echo, basically, for Spectral Blast specifically, if the target, like let's say Frenzy's going against Pluto, Frenzy's on his balance, Pluto's on his, I don't know, death or something. So Pluto uses Ghoul and gets 2 blades, and Frenzy can use Spectral Blast to, do all that damage, but then it'll also put 2 spears on Frenzy. It won't clear Pluto's blades, but Frenzy using the spell will give him pierce blades. So, the whole Echo thing, it really depends on how good the utility actually is. And I see Hydra, which I'll get into, but for Spectral Blast, it's like the Echo mechanic is not that great. It's like if the other person has something, you get it back. But if it wasn't, Pierce Blades, if it was regular blades, it would be way better. So personally, I would put this one off the tier list. I'm just gonna.
So
keep it
would you say
stacked.
this is more like a mimic kind of mechanic where it's like it's just kind of copying?
Yeah. I
Okay.
know I went like full word salad a second ago, but
Yeah. So basically, it's like enemy has a blade, then I get a spear that's I guess based on their blade, or is it based on their school?
it's just, I think it's just a balanced spear.
I'm gonna be
no.
Oh,
honest.
so universal.
I'm
yeah,
gonna be
universal.
honest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest here. I still have no idea what this spell does.
So it hits
Or let-
and then it gives you spears based on how many blades the other person has.
Oh, okay.
It sounds
Yeah.
like a very interesting spell. Let's put it in the abyss.
I would also say put it in this.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I maybe over here, but yeah, just no. There we go.
Yeah, into the abyss it goes.
All right, cool. I guess we're at the rank 6 now. We're
Yeah.
close. Trident, how we feeling?
I wish heal over time counters were just like better in and of themselves, because I'm looking at that and that's like the new Triton is a 60 blade, a 60 chromatic blade, which is really good. So I would say amazing, personally.
You're going amazing.
Yeah, just
I
because it's
would
like blades
say
that you get.
the only issue I have with now is the same issue I have with Skeltspire or any sort of like enemy heal overtime. They just don't use it that much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
As
the
of right now, I
problem.
would say maybe put it like around decent for like if we're talking about like the potential future.
yeah,
As of
it's
right now,
like
I'll probably say like various situations to maybe trash. But if we're talking just potential future, then I would say for now maybe decent. And also
yeah,
maybe because like in advanced content, you'll see that more often anyway.
Okay, so
yeah.
for
I like it being a tier above pirate. Go
for
on, sorry.
For Triton, does the clear two does it give you two 60 blades, or do you need to clear two to get one 60 blade?
It gives you. It's like if you clear one heal over time, it gives you one. If you clear two, it
Okay.
gives you two. So
Okay,
Mm,
I would probably put that in maybe decent. I would say it could be better
okay.
though, so
that
I
works
would
for
say
me.
decent.
Oh yeah, I really love this spell. I honestly do. I think this goes in amazing,
Colossus.
just because it's just a solid like weakness counter. It's like immediately
I
weaknesses be gone.
I would say put it in Vanilla Bean. That's genuinely
Vanilla
my
Bean.
take. It is one of the
To be
craziest spells
honest,
just in the game.
Novus, it's hella Vanilla Bean and Novus.
Yeah,
It's
Okay,
I
so
mean,
wait.
Vanilla Bean and
the
Novus.
fact that it clears 3 curses before hitting and then applying that deferred die, which then you can use with Troll, and we've been
Yep,
over
yep,
that.
yep.
So
Wombo combo right there, and it's just
yeah,
6 pips. Like at most, maybe like 8 if you want to combine it with Troll and still do a good
yeah.
bit of damage. Like it's
Yeah,
solid.
yeah,
I've used
chat.
this
I
in
don't have
Freddy
the spell
before.
pulled up. I don't have the spell pulled
I
up
use
because
it
I
in
don't have
Freddy
any
as well.
spellements, but they're talking about Stone Colossus.
Okay, so
I would
Stone
put it in
Colossus
amazing.
is a 3. It's a 6 pip myth spell. Removes 3 weaknesses and puts a deferred dot. I believe the deferred dot increases based on the amount of weaknesses that's removed,
Yes, it does.
and it
Yes, it
does a
does.
set 585 damage, which like at max, oh, you could do a ton of damage with this
Yeah.
easily.
At max tier, it's 615 up front, and then I
That's
think the overtime's
insane.
180. Could be wrong.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. Okay,
Yeah,
It
this
is
in my opinion is
nuts.
just better Leprechaun.
Yeah, Centaur definitely.
And like
It's
insanely. I mean, okay, the only issue, not Chromatic Blade. That's the
yeah,
only
that's tough.
issue. But
I
it
would
is a better Leprechaun.
yeah, I would say the non-chromatic thing holds it down to decent for me.
I agree.
yeah, it literally just is better Leprechaun. I'd put it decent to amazing, probably decent.
Yeah, we're keeping that decent then. Colossus, how you feeling about this one? This one's a little weird one because it's a Gambit one.
It's
It used to be
I've
much better.
yeah, back in the day, it used to
It
put
used to be insanely broken. Oh my
it used
lord.
to gambit the shields and then put 65 traps on and
That's
then hit, which
insane.
was nuts. But for right now, hitting first and then oh wait no, this is a new Colossus. So it
This new one.
gambits. I can't
3
even see it on
weaknesses.
Frenzy screen. So
Gambit's
gambits 3
weaknesses for
I
55
can make it
traps.
larger.
They're
Oh,
not
put that in the
chromatic
abyss. What
traps,
the
though.
hell? What the hell am I looking at?
No,
Alright, let's go.
no chromatic traps though. So
Yeah, it's like 55
Yeah,
traps are
that's
really
the other
great,
issue.
but
yeah,
it is
Elephant.
trash.
No, before then, with the whole King Artorius change, I would have put it over here. It got upgraded. Now it removes 5 shields. I would say really good shield removal for like that's slightly cheaper.
Yeah.
DOT part, I mean, like, kind of whatever. But I will purely just use this for the shield clear. I would probably
Yeah.
put this as situational, just because the Fire King art exists, even though it's a
Oh,
little
yeah.
bit more pip cost.
what was that? What was
I
that
personally
shield
like
removal
decent.
spell we were talking about earlier? What was that?
Which one?
The shield. There was a shield removal spell we were talking about earlier. That for the
Elf.
Numian Lion.
There's
Yeah,
Elf
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. It's I don't know. I like it. I would put it. I'd put it in decent, honestly.
I would
like
as well.
I like Elephant.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially because the more shields you remove, it's like that's more damage on the overtime.
Okay. As of right now, the most controversial spell at current date in PvP right here.
Oh, good old Wraith. But
Good old Wraith.
for this specifically, it's like if you're like rose blading, for example, it's like amazing. But it's like blades are still too easily countered right now. So
Yeah.
plus there's like bosses that are like no blades, that type of thing.
That is true.
I don't know. I put it situational.
I
That's
agree.
Really?
The weaknesses are too big for it to be trash, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um,
So
the,
wait,
Situation
the issue is the
decent order.
gambit part. That's the issue.
Yeah.
The issue is the gambit part because keep in mind when you do a gambit, it's stuff that benefits you that's being utilized for the sake of utility. Like it'll be removed for the sake of some extra
Yeah.
utility. Usually,
Plus, it gambits the blades first, so it's like
Yeah.
you
okay.
can't use that with a single blade.
you won't use the blades. Well,
A
assuming
spirit blade
okay,
would be really
you
good.
can make the argument if you use like a spirit, but yeah, like a spirit blade. Maybe, but I still think it'll probably still technically remove one of your death blades. I think death is second now, like in the spirit blades
I think
department.
death is second. Yeah, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
It's like
so.
life, death, and then myth.
I think so. Actually, I think it's myth. I thought it was myth first. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm wrong.
I
know.
don't remember.
But yeah, I would put this spell probably in decent. If it
Can we get like a?
let you use
Does
the
anyone in chat
blades.
know like how the order goes for spirit blades? Like that would honestly change a lot of things actually.
I mean, right now it's death and myth and life, but if you're saying they changed it,
Death,
So it's
myth,
death
and life.
first. Okay.
So
Yeah.
if it's death first that gets removed, then yeah, I'll say situational then.
or
Yeah,
well,
I'm gonna look
death,
down to
it'll gambit
situational.
the myth and life, but then it'll use the death blade for the damage.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Got it.
Because if it's death first,
Oh,
yeah,
so-
that's true.
Okay, so if it
Oh,
makes
I
the
put it
death
in.
blade usable, I probably put it at decent then.
Yeah, decent.
I would say so.
Yeah, because you
I
still
would
get
agree
like
with
a
that.
really nice drain, and the ones that get removed. I mean, you'll get the blades that you don't necessarily want removed, and like you'll have like an insane survivability utility, and then you get the drain anyways. Even though it's not as big as like the drain you'll get if you didn't go utility, it's still pretty huge. So I would say this will go in decent for me.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I put it in decent.
Okay, how are we feeling about Hydra Echo? How would that
Oh
work?
boy.
Not
The
another
new
echo.
Hydra,
Not
the
another
new
one.
Hydra. Before this was like above Vanilla Bean, but now I would say since it echoes after, and it does meat damage, I'd call it situational.
Okay. So it'll just put like shields based on the opponent, right? The opponent's school.
It's
assuming?
tower shields.
Oh, tower shields.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like assuming like okay, it's the damage first. Any shield that remains, it's gonna
Gets
be
echoed.
right. Any shield that remains gets echoed up to 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so does the echo
Okay.
means it puts those shields on you? Is that what it does, or is it?
Or it's like
Something else.
the other person still has the shields. You just get shields.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'd probably put this a decent.
I say
maybe.
situational
Decent situational, yeah.
Yeah, the new Hydra is situational.
because you have to kind of hope that the boss or mob you're going against is just putting hella shields. Like you have to basically hope
Yeah.
that you're going against those manders, the mech manders, that one boss and like freaking
those.
Imperial that everyone
Oh,
knows of.
God.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
hope for those to like actually get like the full benefit of it. And
Yeah,
even if it's just a
sometimes.
little bit of benefit, like one tower shield is like, yeah, whatever. Like I could just use anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, these are like probably one of the weirdest spells because like I don't know if some of them are bugged or if they're intended to be like single target spells. Like it's just weird. Like I was trying to test them out, but like I didn't necessarily 100% understand how it worked. But we have right now Stormlord, which gives a 70%
What is that
chromatic
symbol?
blade per heal over time.
Dude,
That's what I'm
what
saying.
is
The
that
chromatic symbol's
symbol?
awful.
Wait, no, not the chromatic symbol. I'm looking at the new one. There's a new selected enemy symbol. What is this?
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah, there's a
wait,
new
that's
symbol
rad.
in game right now. Selected enemies. 720 selected enemies. Yeah. I don't know. That's a weird. It's a weird looking symbol. But yeah, Stormlord, 70 chromatic blades per heal over time. Again, like I don't see it really being used that much.
Oh yeah, I
Me
see. I see
neither.
what
I
you.
don't
I see
know.
what you mean now about the new symbol. I see what you mean.
I'm on pirate right now, so I'm not looking at the new symbol.
You're
But
going yarg.
I mean, Tread's up in realm.
Walter says
Avery,
bootleg
so,
divide. Yeah, basically
Yeah, it is
bootleg
bootleg
divide. Basically. Yeah, no, I'd put
I
it
don't know.
situational maybe.
Yeah, I would
Pushing
say so.
on
That
trash.
is pretty huge.
It's like it's again with the damn heal overtimes.
Yeah, no one uses really heal overtimes to set
We have
up
so many
anything.
situational
It's
spells
hard.
right now. Like these are like the things that are filling up the whole list right here. It's just these two.
Yeah.
What happens when you run out of room frenzy?
We're gonna just like ratchet our way, just kind of slide them in.
Oh yeah, just like slightly cover them all. Yeah.
As you guys are talking, I'm like,
running
yo,
out
let
of
me just
room
slide it
here.
real quick.
Yeah.
Does Storm even use HOTs? They can use HOTs like for some
They
of their
can.
spells, but it's not practical. I wouldn't use it.
I would say it's more like an end
Yeah.
game thing. They can do a little bit more efficiently. And I would say mid to
Yeah.
end game a little more efficiently.
It's better in advanced combat because you could set up Jin with it, but like in normal PVE, like it's not really that usable.
Yeah, for sure. Like if you're the very new Stormlord P-Serve Jin, then
Yeah. They should make all the Jin, Oni, whatever spells usable in normal PVE because that would make a lot of these spells better.
I agree.
It would make a lot of these spells actually
agree.
usable.
I agree wholeheartedly. All right, Artorius. I don't like it that much.
Gambits, 4 shields for a deferred dot. Yeah, no.
Yeah, trash.
It's kind of like, PvE. I mean, I could maybe PvP. It's like, hey, we brought back the double doggo animation or something. I don't even know if they actually brought it back.
Wait,
or
did
not.
they?
They
I
did.
kind of
Apparently, it's
they
broken.
didn't. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I would say kind of trash. I'm
I would
not
say
a fan.
trash. I feel like we don't throw it off the list, but I would say trash.
Yeah, I mean, I could
Trash,
probably see
yeah.
like maybe single target situation, combo it with the troll or something, but it's just like, I don't know, man. It's
Yeah.
just, I prefer the original. Forest Lord, kind of the same thing, except it's blades now.
Before it actually hits. So
Yeah, before it hits, and it's also like overtime based too.
yeah.
Let's pull up Forest Lord here.
It's a yikes.
Yeah, that is a yikes.
No, this
I
spell
would
just
put it
looks
in trash.
garbage. This spell just looks
Yeah.
actual garbage.
Should
You
we
can't
send into
use
the
blades
abyss?
with it.
Maybe even the abyss. Yeah, maybe because I don't.
The abyss.
Well, you just basically
Alright,
turn
maybe I'll
it.
vote for it.
I messed up. You basically just turn it into an overtime. Yeah, no, dude, no.
All right,
It's
here's the
fun.
moment that like I think everyone here is waiting for. Now, before we get to that, let's just talk about like the new version. How we feeling?
The new Frost Giant, it's just a counter. That's pretty much all it is. It's just a counter.
New blade removal, but it's just I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like whatever. It's like whatever. It's like maybe
Wise.
single target wise, it's okay.
Why is
I would say I don't know. Maybe over here. Maybe over here. It's like in the middle of these two.
Like,
I'll keep it the bug.
They want us to use these selective target spells and like team PvP, which doesn't exist by the way, and and like raids and stuff. But
Team PvP has been dead since
7
Puppet Teams.
pips. 7 pips. It's just like nobody's ever gonna use that.
Quite hefty too. Quite hefty. I think honestly, even I mean, sure the trap is chromatic, so like yeah, but I don't like
Is
it.
it? I think it's universal.
It doesn't even show chromatic. It doesn't show the chromatic.
It's
symbol.
universal. It's my bad. It's universal. All right, we already know about this one. All right, go off. Y'all can just go off for a second.
Why
yeah.
is ice so
Frost
ass?
Literally. It's like they are going out of their way to ignore us on it. It's like I have spoken to
I
Cam
don't understand.
about
like,
it.
Dude,
I really don't. I really
don't
don't,
know.
understand because it's like here's the thing. I love stuns. The problem I have with stuns, and I've talked about this so many times, is they haven't done anything to make stuns viable like at all in PvE. And I can understand why they made bosses stun immune and stuff. It's because they didn't want you to just cheese every fight, stun into stun into stun, especially when Medusa came around, because then you got a 2-round stun into a 2-round stun. But there was ways they could have gone around it. Like, hey, maybe give these bosses stun blocks in their arsenal. Do the PvP method where it's like they get stunned, they get some stun blocks. Give them 2 stun blocks if anything.
Okay,
They
wait,
just
wait,
didn't
wait.
do any of it.
Here, let me tell everyone about the polls I did about Frost Giant, the whole
Okay,
stun
yeah, go
utility
ahead,
here,
go off.
because
Go
I
off,
did a
King.
ton of
Go
them. So
off.
okay, I'm just gonna read the thread I did on Twitter about it. So recently, I've been doing polls on multiple platforms on whether or not Wiz should remove the stun on Frost Giant, and here are the results for them. So for my YouTube poll, I think it's now 400 people have voted on it. About 87% say remove the stun for more damage, and 13% want to keep it the same. As for Twitter, about 70% wanted to remove the stun, 30% wanted to keep it the same, and on my Instagram poll, which had like 200 votes, 58% said remove the stun, 48% or 42%, excuse me, said keep it the same. However, I was a little confused by that result, so I asked if they should do a spellement path on Instagram for Frost Giant that removes the stun, and I think it was 96 or 95% said yes for that. So Cam went on stream like this was a few months ago, and he said that the community doesn't like change. And I did all these polls, and I published all the results, even the result that wasn't very favorable, which was the first Instagram poll. But all of the results basically say the community wants the stun removed, or at least wants a path that removes the stun, a path C that removes the stun on this spell. They need to just get rid of the stun, give it like 100 more damage. The DPP for Ice, I think it's like 85 per hit. This spell should be doing about 580 to 600 some, but because of the stun, it
Well,
just does nothing.
that's before pip acceleration, and I've actually
Well,
done the math.
I just realized I'm no, I'm kidding.
But yeah, it's like after pip acceleration, it's like the community has done the math for them, and the spell should be doing 640
Yeah.
without the stun per Ratbeard himself, like the numbers that he gave for that. So it's like they need to stop going out of their way to ignore us. I tried to talk to Cam, he got all defensive for one message and then aired me for the rest of the day. So that was fun. That was
So
fun. They
here's my thing, right? It's like the whole idea of like people wanting the stun to stay with Frost Giant. That was like what, a year or two ago, before we even got like any of the AoE changes for like every other school. Um, Now we have them available for every other school except for Ice for some reason. Actually,
yeah.
Storm is kind of on that same list, but
I
like
was
at the
just
same
about to
time, like
say.
Stormlord just does so much damage already. So
I
it's
was
like,
Yeah.
oh
I
yeah,
was
like
just about to say, why is Stormlord doing so much? If the stun is really that valuable, then why do they have Stormlord still doing like a ton of damage? If they were going by that logic, Stormlord should have lost 100 damage because of the stun. So I don't know. They have no excuse to just not buff the damage. They need to buff the damage on Frost Giant.
I agree. I
So
agree.
mean.
It's like it's just very silly, and I understand the whole idea of like, hey, we understand that players don't necessarily like change. It's pretty common, kind of within the PvE community, especially because like they're very accustomed to like damage oriented ways of playing, which like that's fair, right? Because like that is the fastest way to clear content. The game was made that way. The game's a stats game. When like in comparison, Pyro 101, it's more like power based. It's more on the strategy that you have for your setups and your build of like your weapon type, rather than like, oh hey, I got like 10 extra damage kind of thing.
Thanks.
But it's like this is a thing that I feel like a lot of people now, like before then, yeah, maybe it was like a 50-50 where like half the population, like myself, I was actually one of the people that did like the stun thing, but that was because I had that idea that like, okay, maybe they'll get around, not making every boss known to man stun immune for years ago, by the way. This is like years ago.
Right.
Now, nothing has changed. Everything has stayed the same except for Frost Giant getting like the damage it deserves. And at this point, I would say just remove the stun entirely. Like, just literally give the damage. I don't think, like, a majority of players would complain. It will probably be, like, a really small minority of, like, I don't know, maybe 10%.
And,
That's, like, at
and
And
most.
the
even
souls.
if for the players that
And
don't
trolls.
want change, they should literally just add a path C. They've done it for so many spells. Have 3 paths.
Yeah, the
It doesn't
problem
make any
is
sense.
Cam will go on for hours and hours and hours about how, oh, we're gonna use path C for something way down the line, and that's why we can't add a path C. And I'm like,
Okay, then add a
That's
fourth
way
path.
down the line.
Exactly. Then add a fourth path. When you get down
If
to
that's
that,
the
then
case,
add a fourth one.
okay,
They're
if that's the
tag limit
case, then just literally just remove the stun, because that's literally what the majority of players are asking for now. Like they're not asking for it in Stormlord, because I think a lot of people can agree that Stormlord does a really good amount of damage for its cost.
Yeah.
Also, because they have many other spells that do an insane amount of damage, so it's like, do you really need the Stormlord to like have even more damage like without the stun? It's like some people might say yes, but I feel like a lot of people are pretty satisfied with like Storm's damage already, that they
Yeah.
just kind of wouldn't see that much of a difference.
Another thing, didn't Frost Giant used to do like wasn't it 485 for a while? It was like 25 more damage.
475.
475.
And then it got
And then
nerfed.
he nerfed it for some reason. I'm like why? Like what was
Yeah.
the point of that?
Yeah. Technically brought it back now. If you think about it, you just gotta grind your
Yeah.
butt off.
You have to beat up Archmagus Lorcan for 30 hours, and then now you can do what he used to do.
The fact
But
that
yeah,
tier
easily, guys, this goes to like, please buff. Come on.
the fact that tier 5 Frost Giant still does lower than tier 1 of every single other 7-pip AoE is just that's just crazy.
By like 100.
It's
I
bad.
know, that's
It's
just like
bad.
crazy.
Listen, I was that guy that was like, yo, guys, as a myth main, I really wanted Artorius to be like pure damage, or we could just get like a pure damage spell, kind of like Tempest, but like the myth version. Because like I had two options. I had either Earthquake, which is like a set amount of damage, or Homongo Frog, which could potentially give me slightly more damage, or it will potentially give me even lower damage. So I was suffering for the longest time.
Yeah.
And once those AoEs start to come through, like, Mr. Colossus, I felt so much better. And then when the Artorias change came, I felt even better. I was like, finally, we get something nice. Unfortunately, that hasn't really happened for Ice Wizards.
Dude, I was so
Yeah.
excited when Orthros got changed. The biggest one they need to do is change Frost Giant, but I'll give my take on
Definitely.
Fire Dragon too. I think Fire Dragon's some ass
Yeah.
too, but we'll get to that. All right, next spell, I guess.
Next spell, I mean, it is Fire Dragon. What do
Oh,
you feel
Fire
about
Dragon.
this? Go
Okay.
off, King.
Okay, let's talk about the bottom path first. I'll talk about the top path in a sec for it, but we
It's
can
just
talk
pure
about
damage,
the
right?
bottom path. For the bottom path.
Isn't it just pure damage? No, top path for Fire Dragon.
Okay,
No, it's got the AoE
yeah,
or
the overtime.
still.
The overtime. They need
No, I'm
to.
talking about the top path, because you say you wanted to talk about the top path.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
I'll
we
talk about
are.
the top path. Okay, so for the top path, I think what they should do, they should have another path that removes the overtime on this spell, or at least lessens the overtime by a lot and gives it more base damage. Just because the meta for fire right now, if you can do it, is just stalled incendiate. So why not just give fire wizards that extra damage? They did this for death a while ago because with drains you used to be able to enchant it would do half of it, but now that's what it does for
Okay.
fire. So I think that they should change that, either make it so that the entire enchant gets added to the first hit, or just add a path that completely removes the overtime. I would much rather have 550 damage or 540 damage, no overtime, and my entire enchant gets added to the 540. Even if
No,
it's weak,
I
I
would
would
agree.
much rather that.
No, I would agree. It's like it's one of those spells where you purely are going to be using it for this initial damage rather than it's DOT damage. Like, it's very rare where you're like, yeah, if I don't kill it, then the DOT will. It's like
No.
maybe Arc
Yeah.
1 or something, and then after a while you're like, no, I wanted to kill it like now.
Dude, there's a reason why people use Dragoon AoE Fire Dragon over this.
It's just so good.
I know, it was
Yeah.
so much better than the spell.
Oh yeah, I still use it on my fire. Like, I just can't let it
yeah.
go.
But yeah,
Cheaper
I
too.
would for the bottom path, we can discuss that real quick, I guess. I don't know. I don't think it's any good.
I don't think so that much either. It's just kind of there.
Yeah, no.
Like, woo, DOTs, and even if it was a single target thing, I'm like, I don't know. It's a weird one, like, because even you can make the argument, it's like, yeah, but you can like detonate. It's like, well, yeah, but then chances are it's gonna probably detonate the weaker one when you do the clear.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like these new changes make detonates worse, but I mean, spreading the damage across multiple overtimes, it's like It's a neat little idea, but ultimately, like nobody's gonna use it.
Mm-mm.
Nah, no, ain't
So
no
what
way
we're
I'm doing
thinking?
bottom
Are we
path for this one.
thinking trash or are we thinking the abyss?
I'm thinking
I would
probably
say
the.
trash.
I'm thinking the abyss.
Trash.
Honestly, I don't see anyone going bottom path on this spell.
Yeah,
Fair
I don't
enough.
think
Fair
so
enough.
either. Yeah, it's gone now. Um, okay, not gonna lie, maybe it could be a hot take. I think this is pretty awesome. Scarecrow,
Scarecrow. Let's see.
really solid survivability spell that you can
Wait, hold
use.
on.
I would say it's
So,
like between.
Oh,
I
someone
can even
found
make
me.
it bigger for you in
so
case
it
you need
does
it.
the damage, and then it clears 5 blades for
And
40% chromatic weaknesses. That's what's going on.
yeah,
Hey, for
Hmm.
everyone watching my stream, my noties aren't working. So whoever followed, thank you. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. I'll have to fix that when I stream again. For Scarecrow, I would say. Okay, so this clears 5 blades on the opponent, right?
yep.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just good. This is this is really good.
No,
I
it's
would put
one
this in a.
issue which I'm not sure if it's intended or not, but apparently, according to I think one of my viewers, Dylan, they said that apparently you can't enchant it, which I guess that's maybe an oversight. I'm not sure. They don't really
Really?
explain that enough in terms of like if you can actually do a thing or not in terms of like
Yeah.
enchanting.
Wait, can you not enchant the other 7 hit spells, or is it just Scarecrow?
I don't know. Apparently it's an issue for a handful of spells. Like,
Wait, I'm gonna
Minotaur
test
has
it.
that same issue where it's like it fakes it where you can enchant it, but then when you actually look at, you try to calculate the damage and everything, it shows that it's just doing the same as a regular one for some reason. It's just weird.
You're right. I'm gonna test
Wiz.
Yeah, I
that.
think Scarecrow's suffering from the same thing, except now it's like, oh, you just can't enchant it at all, apparently.
This is a better blade counter than Frost Giant is by a lot. I would call it maybe decent.
I would say it's so. I would say it's
I
so.
would say
Yeah.
decent to amazing for it, but if you can enchant it, it goes amazing. But if you can't, I don't.
Yeah, if you can
decent.
enchant it, it will easily go in amazing tier. But if you can't enchant it, then I would say it's still pretty decent. Really big survivability spell that like any school can train, like anyone can train now, which is pretty awesome.
Suppose so.
Power Nova.
Oh boy.
Uh, well, I saw that this actually does work. I tried using this. Actually, I tried using Raw instead, but this gives you a pip per enemy shield. And I think this is one of those like divided AOE spells that does work along with Raw, but this one's like just a regular pip instead of like a power pip. So, because of that, I would say it's probably in between here because I think Raw is just undoubtedly better in this situation.
Looks like my whiz crash. Let's go.
You can get on Pirate and come do Renegade Dreadnought now.
Yeah.
I'll get on pirate. Why not?
For
Power
Nova.
Oh, never mind. Whiz is okay. My whiz just decided to die for a sec. Oh, let's see. Let me look
Yeah.
at Power Nova.
For Power Nova, it's like this is a PvE stream, so I
It is a
can't put in
PvE
Vanilla
stream.
Bean.
I mean, we can talk about like in terms of raids too. Like raids is still technically it's more
Yeah,
hardcore, but it's still kind of counts.
I mean, for this Power Nova, I would say situational. That's what I would put it
Because
as.
I just think Raw is better. It's just a better version.
600 damage and 1 pip per shield. So for PVE, if you use this spell on multiple targets, do you get it for everyone's shield? Like, if it's
I believe so, which is
Yeah.
that's pretty.
Because
I
like
don't
for
know.
Raw, it's based on the amount of blades that like the enemies have on themselves, and I remember it counting for the blades that were remaining on the other enemies.
I don't know. I think that's pretty good.
I would say it's situational, but I would say it's like it's definitely in between these two.
Mm,
I
I'll
just don't
go
see. It's just the thing. Enemies do
decent.
shield. I feel like they blade more than they shield, especially when it
yeah.
comes to the quantity.
That's true. I'll go decent for it, or maybe have I can see where you're coming from. I'll say situational. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, keep in mind all these 7 pip spells. You're sacrificing AOE damage for the sake of utility, and the utility is decent. I just think that what we have after is just so much better in comparison.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't be using this for the damage.
No.
Where are my spells? I wanted to.
Switch characters again.
I wanted to test and see whether or not you could enchant the 7-pip spells, but my hand is just completely not here for some reason. I don't know what's going on.
Like you're like I'm looking at your
My
screen,
battle hand is like completely just not here. What's going on?
All right, so what we have now is the rank 8 spells. So we're almost done, chat. We're almost done. Leviathan, really good DOT counter. Just really good DOT counter. Although it's expensive.
Yeah, it is expensive and
very expensive.
I would much rather use Stormzilla as opposed to Leviathan. I don't see
in my opinion, yes, I agree.
On this.
Yeah, Stormzilla.
It's like Leviathan could be a good counter to something like Rain of Fire, you know, but
yeah.
Actually, no, it wouldn't, depending on the conditional.
The conditional is if you clear 3 DOTs, you just give a -35 universal weakness on the enemy. So basically, I guess up to 3 of them get on the enemy.
Yeah.
I still prefer Stormzilla though.
Stormzilla is way, way better for this. Without a doubt. I would put Leviathan maybe in situational. Just in case somebody uses like Rain of Fire.
Too, yeah, situational for it.
Alright. Sounds good to me. Oh man, I gotta start moving this stuff. We're full!
Oh nah. So
alright, next
situation.
Medusa. So what we have here is 645 myth damage and Gambit 4 traps for a plus 55 chromatic trap.
Remember Snow Serpent and Phoenix?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's one of those.
It's one of those.
It's like I don't know. It's I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I do like the trap though, but it's just maybe.
It's like
in my opinion,
for it, you know
I feel
what I'm
like
saying?
it's easier to have like a universal trap for Minotaur than it is for a Medusa.
Yeah, it's like.
Okay, here's the counter argument. What if you set up with like spirit traps? But even then, it's like it's still kind of like you know, you probably still may not use it that much.
Yeah, especially because it's like they just
setup takes too long.
Hey, my bad.
Yeah,
chat.
I think the setup will take too long.
My bad, chat. I was trying to test and see whether you could enchant 7-pip spells.
As we wait for Pluto.
Yeah, Wiz decided to basically just die for some reason and not let me cast any spells. So yeah, my thought on Medusa, I don't know. Honestly, if you're gonna Gambit traps for chromatic traps, I don't know. I don't really see the point for it in my opinion.
The biggest issue with this spell, it's expensive.
That's true, yeah. 8 pips for
that. For
a
very long setup. Yeah, it's expensive for a very long setup is what I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd put it probably in trash, honestly. I wouldn't put it all the way there.
You said situational, Pluto? Not Pluto. Icegold?
I said just take it off the map.
Yeah,
take it off the map.
I'd put it maybe take it off the map, trash.
Anything that gambits traps after it hits.
That is true. I would, because even then, it's like, think about it, right? It's like, actually, I'm not gonna give this analogy because you know it's like it just wouldn't make sense to a lot of people. But essentially, it's a situation where even if you were to try to set this up, chances are you may kill the enemy before it even activates the gambit.
Yeah,
that's a good chance. So I would say, yeah, the Abyss. That's probably where it belongs. All right, Rebirth. We have
Vanilla
Rebirth
Bean.
here.
Vanilla Bean. Is there a tier above Vanilla Bean?
No.
I gotta go buy a Rebirth spell so I can look at the spell.
Okay, so what it is, it's basically better Leprechaun again, but it's a survivability spell, if anything.
Yeah, so this actually goes up to 2,325 at max tier.
Wait, 2,000?
So this is without a doubt, like, if there is a tier above Vanilla Bean, I would put it there.
The spell does 2,000 heal?
This will talk about PvP. Most will talk about raids, but
I mean, like this isn't even like my peeve brain turning on. This is just in general.
This is just like, yo,
Dude,
guys, I just
what?
can never die.
Yeah,
Oh
like
yeah,
literally,
no, this
if
spell's
you,
vanilla bean for sure. This is the biggest heal in game. I think this is the biggest
Yep.
heal you can possibly do in game right now, and it's only 8
So-
pips.
it's like
Yeah, literally.
PvP players like they have been doing this, but if you use the adapt aura, which puts on, um, which like it gives you a power pip for
For
like
incoming
if you get
5 to 7.
affected by a spell
Yeah.
that
Yep.
is more than 6 pips. It's like they can do that, rebirth, dark surge with a shad, rebirth
Yep.
again, and it's like if the health cap is like 15k, there you go. You go from 2k to 15k with just that.
Yep. And
Absolutely
it's like,
busted.
let's not even talk about the gambit. Let's just talk about the fact that you get like a really large heal. The gambit's just a
Yeah.
bonus.
Yeah, it really is.
It's literally just a bonus. It's like, yo, here's a blade. You're welcome. Why? I don't know.
Yep.
Just cause.
Yeah, no, I would see myself using this rebirth over the top path rebirth in PvE,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
I'm
This
actually
is
gonna be.
basically like better regen. That's literally
Yeah.
what this is.
It's like
Yeah.
I am actually gonna quit PvP because of the spell. Like I'm stopping like entirely because of the spell. It's like there's no copy limit, and even if there
That's
was,
rough, buddy.
like at that point you'd have Pigsy, regen, and rebirth. So I was like, what?
Yeah.
We're gonna
that's
have
insane.
the return of the Jades probably.
The
with this
return of the
one.
Jays. That's why I'm quitting. So
Attack of the Jades.
yeah, it's like this spell alone has taken me out of the peeve scene the moment the update drops.
It's crazy.
That is how crazy the spell is.
Bro,
And
I
it's like,
feel
even in
so
PvE
bad for you,
too.
man. I feel
Yeah,
so bad
PvE
for
is
you
so
because
bad.
like the next spell we're reviewing. It's just
What's
I
the
love
next
this
one?
spell. This is my favorite aesthetically. This is like my most favorite ice spell,
Same.
and
Wait,
I just
Gambit
look at it.
straps? Yeah, Gambit
Oh,
straps.
Snow
Get
Angel?
it out of here.
Let me
Minus
look at
30
Snow Angel.
weakness, I guess. I mean, I guess
Gambit
that's cool.
straps. Get it out of here.
Yeah, it's bad.
Why?
It's,
Why
there's
do
no
they just
saving
hate
it.
ice? That's what I don't understand. Why?
I don't know.
Snow Angel is
Okay,
literally
next
the
spell
worst
they have
alien in the
coming up is
game.
kind of decent though. The next spell coming
Yeah,
up is
that
kind of
is
decent.
good.
Yeah, but let's go with the next spell. Ifrit. How we feeling?
Oh, I need to buy all this spell.
So it does its damage and then applies an OT for 6 rounds.
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna go
Per-
to sleep with this spell.
For real, per overtime on
Yeah,
the
think
target.
about it.
So this is one of those where it's like you could fire elf into it, maybe. You could elephant into it, maybe. But overall, I would just call this very, very situational. I don't see
Yeah,
myself using it
definitely.
that much. The right
Yeah,
setup could make it
definitely.
really good, but
I would say it would go from situational to trash. I would lean more towards
Yeah.
situational, purely because potential gambits you
Hi
can do
Jacob,
with
how you
it.
doing?
same here.
But it's just like, ah man, it's one of those where it's like, oh
Dude,
hey,
7?
I'm gonna be watching animation of DOTs for like the foreseeable future. Like I might as well
Pretty
take a
much.
small break where I'm at it. I'll do some stretches as it like slowly kills the enemy. I probably will kill the enemy of
Oh, I'm looking
boredom.
at the wrong
At that
spell.
rate.
Pretty much.
I'm looking at the wrong spell. I was looking at Fire Tenor. What am I doing? I'm supposed to be looking at Ifrit.
We're not there yet.
Whoops. My bad. I was about to say, I was like, what are you guys talking about? I
We're almost there.
was
We're
like, this
talking
spell's
Ifrit.
good. I was like, this
Yeah.
spell's good. What?
No,
But no, this spell's
Honestly,
bad.
King Arts, we love them, except for one maybe.
Yeah, no, I
haven't
don't.
seen
The
most of
spell
them.
is like, dude, you just be watching animations all day.
I'm literally just gonna like watch the enemy die of boredom, then like actually die.
Yeah, no.
This is the die of boredom
trash.
spell.
I'd put it in trash. Dude, it's the end of an
Alright.
Oh,
I'm
there's
thinking
another
kinda-
Diaboredom spell coming up.
end of the era of 45 weakness, 90 weakness to 45 weakness.
Yep. All right, here we have next Skeletal Dragon. This one's pretty good. I think
Oh,
this
it's
one's
like
pretty
blades
good.
to blades.
Yeah, it's literally like Ghoul, except it's not like Gambit. It's like easier to set up. Just like let the enemy blade themselves for a bit. Although keep in mind,
Yeah.
it loses its DOT, so like you can't really like do it through a shield usually. But it is a solid single target damage spell with the added utility later.
Let me pull
Yeah.
up.
This one's pretty in the middle of situational to decent.
Let me pull up.
I feel like
Skeletal Dragon.
situational is where I would put this because blades to blades. It's like it's decent, but it's like you never see people use it. Jin's Larceny. You know, it's
That
like
is
there's
true.
better counters.
We also have to think about this way, the same way we did with Medusa. What's the likelihood you're gonna see the utility come through?
That's true.
Because it is pretty solid damage. You might end up killing him before you even get the blade.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
actually,
Maybe
true.
if there's
damage
like
for Nape Rip.
there are certain fights, like
You
let's say
know,
for example, I don't know, the that one fight in Karama where it reduces your damage by a decent bit, and you won't be able to kill them outright. Maybe situations like that, maybe.
you see, I'm inclined to put this spell a little bit higher, mostly because I don't like the OT on Stealth of Dragon.
Yeah.
I actually
But
like it. You know, you could combine with Troll. You know.
I mean, the utility is like it's whatever, but I do like how it's just all one single hit and it's a big death hit. Because Avenging
Yeah.
Fossil before was kind of
Yeah,
garbage.
that is an upgrade though. Like, argue like, you know, objectively speaking, it is an upgrade that it's a single target hit, technically.
I would probably put this spell in decent, in my opinion. I'd put it in decent.
All right, then I guess we'll move it up here then. Also, I gotta make it smaller because I'm also running
Oh,
out of
yeah.
space. All right, cool. Raw. Now this one is vanilla, in my opinion.
Let's see, Raw.
Oh, for the pips.
Yeah, it's literally like, hey, enemy has blade, get a power pip. You're welcome. Up to
Oh, this
5,
is
you
just
basically get like
insane.
10 pips.
Yeah, no, this spell is just insane. Yeah,
And it's like,
It's-
let's keep it a buck. The top path, it's fine. It doesn't really do as much damage already. I'd rather just have the second utility.
yeah, for sure. Top path sucks. I would love this utility on obviously no PvP version, but like a non divide damage thing. I would love it.
Yeah,
It would be
that is
so for
true.
That is
PvE. It'd be
true.
so good. Be literally
Yeah,
just better
that
power
is true.
nova. Literally just better power nova.
You could literally like, I don't know, like, there's maybe a situation like maybe if you want like a shield, like let's say they decide using like a Legion shield, just use this spell, get like the pips necessary to power nova immediately after.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's like the one of the most vanilla expensive spells
I know. It
because
would
you
just
get
be like
you can get a max benefit of 10 pips, which
Yeah,
means
for
that you get a
sure.
positive trade. You get the extra 2 pips as a positive trade.
dude, it's basically just a free hit at that point. You literally just like
Yeah.
if it doesn't kill, oh well, I'll just use my 10 pips. I'll just cast it again over
Yep.
and over.
Yup.
Oh yeah,
One
for
of those.
sure. Vanilla bean tier, I'd put it there.
All
That's
right.
fair enough.
All right. Next spell. We're at the rank 9 spells. What we think about sirens?
Sirens.
975 storm damage, gambit 4 blades for a 65% chromatic blade.
Gambit 4
Uh,
blades for 165 chromatic blade. Is that how
I
the spell
think
works?
it's each. I think it's each, like up
If
to
it's
4
each,
Yeah.
if it's each,
Up to
then it's really
yeah, up to
good.
1 each. Yeah, I think it's 1 each. It should be.
I would
You see,
hope
that's
so.
the problem. That's the problem. Is like, unfortunately, I don't have like all max wizards, so like I wouldn't know 100%.
Oh yeah.
I'm working towards it, but yeah, I'd probably put this in. I'd probably put it in maybe situational to decent. Honestly, I like
Yeah,
I like
I would
top
say
half
so.
a little bit better.
Yeah, I would say so as
Yeah,
well.
I would say maybe decent.
Because you gotta keep in mind as well, it is expensive. Very expensive. Like all these spells are expensive now. It's expensive, and now you have a situation where you have the divided damage because this is technically an AOE, but now this will do like the new divided AOE.
Yeah.
And it'll do just a lot less damage. So like, luckily it does do the hit before the whole gambit, but I just feel like by then you're probably are gonna be out of pips to do anything else.
Yeah, that's true. It's good for what it is, but you need to like piece everything into a shad, for example.
Basically. So I would say, what would you think? I'm thinking in between. I would say situational, just because like the blade is really good.
Yeah, me too.
You can't really get a blade like that. You really just can't get a blade like that, like at all.
Yeah, same. I'd
Yeah.
put it.
Even
I'd
with
put
the
it
even with the
situational.
best potent enchantment, the best you can get is like 50. So I would say this is like a situational spell.
Yeah,
Situational. I'd put it there.
I'm down for that.
Alrighty.
I would agree.
All right, Basilisk. No. What can we say
Alright.
about this spell? Honestly, it's just.
I heard that this
is,
spell. I heard
Yeah.
that this spell broke PvP. That's what I heard.
Yeah, this spell is breaking everything, bro. It's breaking
Yeah.
my
Clear
bank account
8.
potentially. Maybe it's breaking
Clear
my back.
8. Jeez.
This is a spell that I really wanted, honestly. Like, I didn't know I wanted, but now it's here.
All right.
Clear
It's
8
just-
shields.
it's
What
just-
the?
8 shields, you get a tower shield. And then the deferred dot, you can just combine it with the troll, so, like, it's fine.
Dude, if trolls, imagine
you
if
get two of
trolls
them?
still, imagine if trolls was
You get two
still
of them?
bugged, dude. This would be crazy.
Imagine.
Basilisk into troll, and then you just freaking kill everything.
I mean, even if it won't do necessarily as much damage, because, like, it is 2 deferred dots, so my guess is it's, like, a deferred dot of 500, because it's, like, 2 of them, so, like, divide by 2 will be 500 for each one.
Yeah.
So, like, the damage won't be
Sounds
as
about
high,
right.
but that utility of, like, the shields is really nice. That's a lot of defense. Not
would
as
say,
great, but, like, if you walk a universal build, it will be really good for you.
Facts.
I'm gonna be honest. I'd probably put this in a amazing tier. I'd put this in amazing.
I would put it in amazing just because you can clear so many shields. Like, it's
Yeah, I like
just
that too.
Insane clear. It's like,
I
at
agree
that
with
point,
that.
it's like, I don't even care about the damage. I just care about the fact that I'm just going through your defenses like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Gnomes. How we feeling?
Hold on. Make it bigger fast.
We're looking at 725 life damage and a overtime 810 overtime heal over
Ooh.
6 rounds.
So do you get
per
3 of those?
Heal on yourself.
Wait, you get
Yeah,
3
that's a lot of
those? Dude, that's
potential.
busted. Wait, what? Is this just?
That is a lot of potential.
Is this just?
I would
is this
say at
not
least
just busted?
at least life can do it. At least life can do it pretty
Yeah.
easily. Wait, let's. Never mind. I was thinking something, but never mind. I
Oh,
was like,
yeah, I
no,
would-
That's not how it works.
I would put this spell in. Amazing.
Imagine how insane it would be if like Leprechaun got more than just one.
Yeah. Like that would
Oh
be
my
pretty
God.
whack. But
I would
for the
s-
potential, I'll put that in amazing. Because it's like it's already good.
yeah, I would put it in
Mhm.
in amazing. I would say the spell the
Okay.
spell just looks busted to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be
I
wrong,
just think,
but
like, I just think for me, like, you can kind of get somewhat of a similar benefit if you go with the top path as well, because you get like the healing bonus, but you
Yeah.
can probably use that with like a regenerator or something. You probably get around
Oh,
the
yeah.
same value without having the neat conditionals. But yeah, potential wise, it's definitely up there. I would say like if you do the dual schooling, the potential is definitely there. If you do the dual schooling with Storm, you use the teacup and then you just kind of get
Or
a bunch
Barry.
of overtime zeros. Or Barry. Yeah, if you have Barry, you're pretty much set up for this.
Yeah.
So
dude, Barry with the
honestly,
spell.
purely because
and
like,
Barry got
exists.
buffed. Barry got absolutely
It
buffed
did,
too.
yeah.
Like
Just
Barry's
because of its
insane now.
existence.
Oh, I don't have.
I
it on
will
this
have
wizard.
to. Before then, I was kind of like, maybe situational decent, but I have to remember that Barry just got changed, and it's actually really good now.
No,
And the
Barry's
setup
like
for this is
broken.
now a lot more easier to do thanks to Barry.
Barry and the
It's just-
gnomes. Yeah,
it's
for
good.
sure, dude.
Yeah, it's good.
You want a
Like it's
busted
gotta
combo?
it's gotta be up there. Woolly Mammoth. This one's good.
For the Lorna
Later,
time.
I like Woolly Mammoth.
Weakness removal still does a solid bit of damage. The utility, I mean, obviously, it's better than nothing, but the main focus is the fact that you remove all those weaknesses first.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the biggest deal. I would say this goes in amazing.
I would
I
put
think
it
so
in
too.
amazing. Yeah, this is a really good change. Better than the stun. Now, if only they could do
Yeah,
that for
honestly,
Frost
though.
Giant.
Yeah,
If only,
for
if
real.
only. Oh, damn, they actually changed the logos. Wow, they actually put pictures on them. That like makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm looking through your stream, Flu. That's how I know.
Yeah, the new weakness.
Yeah.
Let me
All right, how are we
read
feeling
this
about
later.
Rain of Fire? This one's
That's
weird.
that's the other overtime spell.
This one's a pretty weird one for me.
So, oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta read this.
Yeah, it's one of those weird ones. It's got a lot of text.
Yeah. So it'll do 1350 across. What is that? 3 overtimes
Yeah,
over
across
six
three
rounds,
overtimes. Mm-hmm.
and then 345 for 6 rounds per heal overtime that you have on you.
Yeah, it's
It's
I think it's kind of garbo. I'm gonna
Yeah,
keep
no,
it a buck.
I
Like,
was.
I feel like
I
what you gonna do?
personally
You're gonna link into link, and then maybe
This is another
yeah,
one
I
of
would
these.
say
it's the same realm as Ifrit, except slightly more expensive.
This is
yeah, I would say maybe
another.
situational at best.
Here's the thing. This is another one of these spells where I think they need to make a path C that gets rid of the overtime and just buffs the damage by a lot. When they did their initial like spell audit, where they changed, it was like I
Yeah.
think July 2020. I think it was July 2020. I don't know, but they actually buffed this spell, and I was happy with it. But then the community complained because they liked the overtime on it, and I understand. But I think they should add
Oh.
a. I think they should add another path.
What did they do before? I forgot.
It was like 900 damage with like a 100 overtime. It was
Ooh,
900
that's
base
good.
damage. It was like
Yeah,
insane.
I mean that's just better. But to be fair, I mean Dragon is still pretty okay. It's still pretty decent.
Yeah,
At least it's not Frost Giant.
real.
But I don't know. I
It's
kind of hope that they
real.
add a path that gets rid of the overtime, or at least weakens the overtime and buffs the damage. But yeah, I would
I
put the
feel
spell
you.
in
I feel
trash.
you.
I'd put the bottom path spell version of it in trash.
Yeah, I just the setup is just you can technically do it, but I feel like for these other classes like that have some sort of healing over time, the setup is a lot easier than it is for a fire, even with the new King Artorius. I
Nice.
tested it and I found out that like it's not how I initially thought. Okay, Dr. Vaughn. Again, this one has that same issue. I would say honestly Skeletal Pyre is just better than this in my opinion.
Anything with like the heal overtimes,
Heal
I just
overtime.
don't know.
It's
Like I
just
don't see the viability really because they don't. They just you just don't. You're not gonna heal overtime 4 times on yourself. I don't see that in PVE.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean,
like,
it's a good
it's
counter
a
to Rebirth, but it's like
could.
but
it's so expensive.
here's the thing. Why don't you just go top path? Honestly, I don't know. Why not just why
Yeah,
even
for,
go?
like,
Why
more
even
drain.
go the bottom path for it? I don't see it. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, it's like at that point I would just prefer the drain over the utility. I mean, like when it comes towards any sort of counters, you typically will want to do it when you have a positive trade. So this most likely will give you at best maybe like a neutral to like a negative trade when it comes towards countering, which is like
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be as good. Like even if we can make the argument that like yeah maybe on advanced combat like like in raids like this will be like a perfect like counter. Well, it's like yeah true, but like if you're like in a team setting at that point, I just would think that you may still want to pause the trade in your pips so you can do something else as well beyond just like hey I just counted a heal overtime.
Yeah, it's like they designed a lot of these to sort of counter one another. Uh, and Vaughn is it's just a clear response to Rebirth, but it just costs so much. So I don't. I would say it's decent just because of what it does, like countering the best spell in the game. But
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see
it's just the
that.
cost for it, It's like especially if they can just, adapt, surge, rebirth, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'd
that's
put
what
it
I'm-
in situational. I would put it in situational probably. Dr. Vaughn.
Okay, sure. I mean the clear is pretty big, so
Yeah.
sure. Maybe like in the next arc they'll start using the new rebirth and this gets insanely good.
Dude, if they start using the new rebirth in the next arc,
It'll work
my,
That's gonna be
Everyone's
my
going
my
on
blade
site.
my blade AoE ass is logging off, and I'm
Yeah.
All right, so what we thinking about Chimera? Honestly, in my personal opinion, I think Shallow Roam.
Oh, it echoes the overtime, definitely.
Shadow Realm.
Because
It.
like
My bad,
Balance
my
doesn't even have an
freaking
overtime
light
gambit.
just
If I see
Leave out.
if I see the word echo, it's going in the abyss. That's just my philosophy.
Unless it's old Hydra.
yeah, Hydra's still all right. It's pretty good. So yeah, I would say just the Abyss. Like whatever.
Yeah, we
I
can
don't
just
Spy
care.
Chimera,
toss
Rip
it from
Bozo.
there.
All right, guys, we're almost done. We got 14 more spells now.
Let's go.
Yep.
The 10 pips and the
we got
King Arts.
Storm. Owl. Yep. How we
I
feeling?
heard this spells. Let me see. Let's see.
Storm
It's
Owl,
pretty
it's like
insane.
Yeah, I heard it was like
it
really
is. I
good.
think
3 pips per. Oh,
So it does
Yeah,
solid
per
single
heal
target
time.
damage. 3 pips per overtime. Heal overtime.
now,
Like you
does
can get some
anyone,
sort of value out of it.
Does anyone know
you got-
if they are white pips or are they power pips? Like, do you get like a power
think they're
pip and a
white
noob
pips.
pip?
Oh, here's my only question.
They work like Empower.
Would they? Yeah. So if they work like Empower, cool. If they work like Empowerment, not cool.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
empowerment,
no.
the biggest issue with empowerment is there's a maximum threshold you can have in pips. Once you get like the max 7, you're done. Like you don't get any more. Like you just lost all your benefits right there. So it really just depends on that. My guess is that it works like empower like the death spell.
Yeah, I think it does. And it's good, but it's like setting up for it, you know. You need to like bury, Tree of Strife,
Yeah, and it's
much
a
is
10
a,
pip
other
spell.
spells, you know.
It's a 10 pip
How much is
spell.
a
so
healing
it's gonna
current?
be a lot.
Yeah. The
How much
healing
is a
current's
healing
3
current?
pips, but it only gives
Um,
you the 1.
Oh, that's true. If it gave you 2, then like yeah, that would be really solid. So
That's
I
what are
would
we
put
thinking?
it
Like in PvE, I would say decent because
I would
the
say
damage
decent,
is really
yeah.
solid.
decent to situational, probably leaning towards decent for Storm Owl.
yeah.
Yeah. So what are we feeling? What are we feeling, Ice? How are we feeling?
I'm thinking decent. Like it's a
Decent?
solid spell. You can replenish your pips real easy with it. It's just the setup is a little tougher.
That is true. All right, sounds good. I honestly thought the spell was gonna be good. It's really not.
Oh,
Trap
calendar.
Gambit again.
Trap Gambit. No, God.
Again, here's the problem, right? The problem is it's not just the fact that it's the Gambit. It's the fact that like it is a single target spell that does a decent amount of damage. Chances are you're gonna kill before you can even utilize the Gambit in the first place.
Yeah.
Wait, one sec. What
That's
spell
the
we
issue
on?
with it.
What spell we on again? Sorry.
Calendar.
Celestial
calendar.
Calendar for Myth.
Calendar, yeah. But personally,
Gambit for trap.
I don't know. I think this is the one Trap Gambit that I won't throw into the abyss. But
I would agree. I don't think it's Abyss
Yeah.
tier.
I'd
But I
put
would
it
say-
trash, maybe
yeah,
trash. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
Host Cross, if you want to get a pack in Wiz, I would say get the Professor's Horde pack. I would say get no packs because you'd probably beat the demon
don't
out of it.
gamble. Yep.
But if you're gonna
Okay.
if you're gonna get a pack, yeah, if you're gonna get a pack, I would get the Professor's Horde because it just gives you the most value.
Yep,
Yeah.
true. Very true. Very base take right there. Spiny Sword. I think this is really good.
I think this is really situational.
Really?
Really? Got a
Yeah,
little bit
because
of
it's
a.
like it does good damage across those 3 dots, but you dump your pips if you're not clearing all those overtimes, and it's like if somebody has a Stormzilla, for example, then
Yeah, I see
it's
this.
like they clear most of your
Okay.
damage. And
Yeah,
get some
that's
those.
true. I mean, like at the same time, though, it's like it's not protected though. That is fair. Like the fact that it's not protected is a little scary.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't see this spell
It's
being
good
used
damage
much.
though. It's a good damage.
Yeah.
I actually
There are just
personally
better
kinda like it.
spells. There are just better spells that pretty much accomplish.
There are
the
better
same
spells
thing.
though. I would say
I would say just trash.
maybe I'm thinking like around situational. Maybe I'm thinking maybe situational.
Situational
situational
trash,
is
maybe.
good place to put
Because
it.
it is a really solid
Bundle
like,
might
DOT
be.
counter.
Oh,
And it gives you
oh.
pips per DOT.
Host Cross for bundles. If you're a Pirate 1 player, get the Polaris one if you're gonna get one. But if you don't play Pirate, then I don't
Don't
know.
get a bundle.
Don't get a bundle. If you're not, I
A bundle?
use that for something else. Use that money for
So what
like
we thinking?
anything else. For Spiny Sword, highest I would go is situational for it. It's not that
Yeah.
good.
All right, I'll move it down. I'll move it down to situational. Let's see. Sun Serpent, how we feeling? This is
Oh, we
another
skipped
kind of
Lord
like.
Winter.
Uh, it's okay. It's actually not that bad. The more I think about it, because like
Yeah, it's like
you
it
can
does what
you can like
Spiny
just
did.
keep on like fuel stacking, and get the pip value.
Well, this is a clear, so it would clear traps on you.
Oh, never mind. That's right. It's not Gambit.
I don't see
Overall,
it.
it is. It
It's
does still
still
do a lot of damage.
decent.
Is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So does it give
So
you
it
one?
does what Spiny Sword does, but better.
It gives you 1 pip per trap. Is that what it
Two
does,
pips
or-
per trap.
2 pips per trap. Oh, okay. Wait. Are you guys looking at the? Was this spell updated or was it like nerfed? Because mine says 1 pip.
Oh no, it got
One
nerfed.
pip then.
My pip
Yeah, I
says
guess
my
it did
spell
get
says
nerfed.
1 pip.
Oh,
This is going
no.
in like. This is probably going in situational to trash, honestly, just because
Yeah,
I don't
Fair
know.
enough.
they nerfed it, dude.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
nerfed it.
personally, I just like it because of the damage. It's like it does
That
what
is
Spiny
true.
Sword does, but better, and it
That's
has a
true.
better effect.
That is true.
It's a big OT. Yeah, I
So,
can see it. Yeah, maybe I would go decent for it. I would go
Yeah, I
decent.
would too.
Actually, you know what I just realized about Spiny? It works very similar. That it's like 3 separate damage overtimes.
Yeah.
Except it just, I mean, of course it's life, so it does less damage. Wait,
Yeah.
is Spiny Sword still 2 pips?
Let me check.
Oh yeah, that would be a good thing to check on.
Yeah,
I can
because
check
like
it
if
real
they
quick.
nerfed this one, they must have nerfed Spiny too.
Spiny is no longer 2 pips. It's 1 pip. That's supposed. I'd say trash for that
Ooh.
one. I don't know how I missed that, but yeah, it's just 1 pip.
Yeah.
I would go trash for it. I'd move that back. I would
We move
move
it
it
to
down to
trash now?
trash. Yeah.
God damn it! I have to. If I do edit this video, I'm gonna have to like showcase the new version that they made. God damn it. It's fine. Sun Serpent though, how we feeling?
I would put that situational, or maybe decent. The Icegold. Icegold said, yes, it's decent. Yeah, decent situational.
How we feeling, Ice?
Mm, I'll go situational.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good.
I do not
Alright, next
understand
one.
this spell upgrading mechanic.
Lord of Winter. Now this one's actually really good.
Is this Gambit Shield?
Gambit Shield. It's like super easy to do.
Ooh.
Just like Spirit Shield, Elemental Shield. Ice doesn't
Oh.
necessarily have to
They
worry
didn't
too much
change
about
this
shielding
one.
either.
So wait, why did they
Interesting.
change? Why did they make some of them 1 pip, but this one's still a power pip?
So
Good
this one
point.
still is like solid damage. And
Yeah, this one's good. I think this one's
the
pretty
Gambit
good.
is really easy to do.
Yeah.
So you get the same value out of it regardless.
If you're against something that doesn't counter shields or like echoes them with Hydra,
Yeah,
then
sure.
it's good.
I would
I'm
say
leaning
this
towards the
spell's
middle of
decent.
amazing to decent.
I would say
I'm leaning
decent.
towards decent.
All
James.
right, we'll go with decent.
I do not understand this spell upgrading mechanic. How it works is you can choose. You have to get spell elements. You can farm them, and you choose a path whether you want to go top or bottom. And we're basically reviewing the bottom paths. Host, by the way. All right, next.
All
spell.
right, so Avenging Fossil. It's a Gambit. It's weakness Gambit.
I saw
It's-
Roseblade try to use this, and it just did such meat damage.
It's just
My
not
problem
good.
with this, it's the damage. That's one of the issues I have with it. The other issue I have is, unless we have the old Banshee, this
not
is
good.
That's not gonna be
just
good.
It's not good.
there just isn't much opportunities to put a bunch of weaknesses unless you have the old Banshee before the nerf and test.
Yeah, I'd
I will
probably
honestly say
lean
this goes to
towards-
trash.
Yeah,
got
trash.
buffed to
Maybe even the
950.
Abyss.
Wait, hold on.
It's
Can
not
you check
950.
on,
No, it's 890. It's still 890.
890. Ooh, but it's the same Gambit.
Oh wait, max tier,
890,
max
it
tier
gives
is
a power
950. Max tier is 950. Wait a sec.
Max
Oh, they
is-
buffed the damage.
Max
yeah, that
tier is
must have
950.
gigabuffed. In that case, I would say like decent
Ooh.
to amazing.
Oh,
it's like-
that changes everything.
Yeah,
This
that changes everything.
All right. I will if I do make a video out of this, we will have to. I will have to showcase the new version.
I'm glad
yeah.
I'm glad I got on
Damage,
test realm.
which you needed.
I'm glad I got on
Yeah.
test
Yeah,
room, so
thank
we have the
They're gonna probably change him again. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah,
yeah,
they probably will.
probably before it goes live.
Yeah, so it's like as of right now, like we're not talking about this one, chat. We're talking about the one that's currently in test room, which I haven't updated it. I didn't know they updated it. I just watched Liam's video. He's like, yeah, they
Oh,
changed
yeah.
these spells. I'm like, okay, cool. So they only changed one spell that I need to put on the list. Apparently, they changed more than that.
Duh.
Shout out to Liam.
I would put
All
this
right,
spell
then we
in
have
decent then for Avenging Fossil.
Yeah, I'll say decent. Check Sabretooth. How did that change? Because as of right
Okay.
now, it's 630 bounce damage, up 2 power pips per heal overtime on the enemy.
Yeah, mine's still 2 power pips per heal overtime.
Same thing, everything.
Yeah, it's pretty much 690. Max tier is
Okay.
695. So, I mean,
This is like a
it's
this is
kinda
like a very
neat.
whatever spell.
I think it's kind
it's
of
like-
kind of garbage.
Yeah, I would say it's like giga situational. Because
Yeah, it
Uh,
definitely is.
you might use this against a life, going for a rebirth. You might use this against a fire, going for a rain of fire. But I don't see it being used outside of that.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
pip mechanics are
And even then, like I would prefer the top path in this one too,
Yeah.
because it's like
Yeah,
you
for
get more
sure.
utility out of it. If anything, I would say maybe this should go in the please buff category somehow,
Maybe.
or maybe
yeah,
maybe
just
work.
kind of change the.
if they
the
just buff the
mechanic, honestly.
damage. I would say just buff the
Yeah, if
damage.
they buff the
maybe.
damage. Yeah,
It should
I would say
work.
buff the damage a little bit.
Just make the damage the same as the top path and have this utility, and I'd say that'd be good.
Yeah, like if we're talking about just purely PvE, I would say maybe put in the please buff category. I would say it's the lowest one though, because the utility is kind of insane, just not as viable in PvE sense.
Yeah.
In PvP, I can see how this might be an issue.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, if we're saying anything else, I'll probably put like maybe situational trash, but for now maybe please buff. Let's see. Now all we have left is the King Artoriuses. Did they change those? We're starting with the Storm one.
Storm Kinnard. Okay, so it does 810 storm damage, clear 3 HOTs for 420 HOT for 4 rounds. So garbage, basically.
Yeah, meat and trash. It's like it's a good counter to rebirth, but
Yep.
that's it. You know.
That's
It's,
kind of it. I mean, like it is
it's
one of the
expensive.
better. It is one of the better, heal overtime removals. But again, Skeleton Pyre is still way better than this. If you want like a overtime removal, so it's
Yeah,
yeah,
that
I
and
gotta put it in
Trident.
trash.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
and
put that in
Trident.
trash.
Yeah, I'll put it in trash.
Lewis in my chat says, "Where's Snow
this
Angel?"
goes,
Lance?"
this goes crazy. This is just better Medusa in every single possible way.
Oh,
Myth King art?
oh, yeah.
Look at that. It's basically Colossus Part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
We're talking
You
about
got trapped
Myth
this
King art
time.
Clears 5 curses for 50% chromatic traps, but Myth is the only school that can get it, so don't know why it's chromatic. And 750 or 760 spread across 2 deferred dots that last for 5 rounds. It's good if the person doesn't have the counter. But if they do, it's in the abyss.
I
I
would
would put
say. Well,
It's very
let's see.
easily
Do you
countered.
get a total of like 5 traps though? Like, is that like how it works?
I think so.
I would say this would go to like decent.
Yeah, I would say decent because it's like if you can get it off, that's huge. But I feel like it's too easily countered.
I think it's
To be
Yeah,
above
situational.
decent.
fair.
I think it's situational just because of what Icegold said. Yeah, you can counter it
The,
very easily.
the pip cost is pretty.
And it's
the pip
yeah,
cost is
it's
pretty
expensive.
big
It's expensive.
too. Yeah,
There are
it's
better
very
King Art
expensive.
spells. Better King Art spells. I'd put it in situational.
For sure, for sure.
I like it though. I personally may use it. Like I think it's pretty decent. So what were you thinking? You said, Ice. You said it was situational or decent?
I said it was decent at best.
Decent at best, and then Pluto saying situational. I think it's decent. So
Situational, yeah.
majority rule. I say we go in decent.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on the
Life
fence,
King
but-
art. Basically, slightly better spiny sword. Like doesn't do the damage, but does give you some extra survivability. It's pretty
Why is the
decent.
damage so low on this?
I was
I don't
gonna
know. I
say,
feel like
it's
its
a
damage
sword.
is like super
It
low.
traded off for healing.
540
Yeah,
at
but
the
that's
first
like-
tier. I don't know. This is too low damage for me. I'd say it's situational, maybe even
I would
trash.
too.
Situational.
It's just
All right,
like
sounds good. Sounds good.
utility doesn't make up for the low damage.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I inverted it.
Oh, keep it that way. Flip it upside down.
Now it's better.
Yeah.
Dude, I am like full on the situational again. I need to make more space. All right, well, let's talk about the Ice King Artorius, which pretty similar to the Myth one, except it is now chromatic shields, weak damage, but you basically are doing defense in exchange of damage.
Yeah.
I would use Mammoth every time over this. I'm gonna keep it a stack.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I was gonna say this spell is
yeah.
just 480. Why do they hate ice so much? I don't understand. 480 really? I don't know. They need to the damage needs to be better to justify it for me. I would put it trash to situational.
All right, what are we thinking? Is this another please buff?
Oh yeah, probably please buff, yeah.
Please
Buff
buff.
the
Yeah.
damage. Buff the damage a little bit and I can see it being used maybe. I can see it maybe being
Okay, what
situational
about,
to
what
decent.
about, what about Life King Art? Should we put that in please buff as well?
Yeah, I would put that too. Just buff the
think so.
damage. Buff the damage on those spells and it'd be better.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. All right, so we have King Art here. We'll have the Life King Art there as well in the please buff category. All right, then we have Fire King Art, which is freaking insane.
Yeah, I've
Clears,
heard a
what is
lot
that,
of stuff
7
about this spell.
shields.
Yeah, no, this spell is,
Yeah.
and it does really good damage too. So there's no
Yeah,
trade
it
off
does really
for
good
it.
damage.
This I say
Pretty good heal over time for
honestly,
some survivability sake.
I say Vanilla Bean for this spell. This spell is like, I don't know, it's actually insane.
That-
for
Probably
me.
just the fact that it removes so many
Yeah.
shields.
Yeah.
It's really
It's just
for the fact that it
removes
removes so many
7
shields and does
shields.
damage.
There's
I'm
no
down
damage
putting it
drop
up there.
off. No damage drop off. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's
pretty
really good.
It's pretty insane. All right, then we got the Death one, which yikes.
Oh.
Gambit
That is
4
the
blades
damage,
for
and then it- Oh, wait.
Yeah, no, this is going in trash.
Well, if you were to Gambit 4 blades, you could.
I mean, I guess
or
Spirit
up to
Blades-
4.
You can do. Oh wait, Spirit Blade situation.
Oh yeah,
again.
that's true.
It's a Spirit Blade situation again.
Yeah.
You can
I
still
mean,
get a pretty
guess.
solid amount of damage and still get some defense.
I feel like it's a little bit
yeah,
too
it would
expensive
be
though.
I would put it in the DC
It
tier
is.
personally.
I would put it in situational.
Thinking about,
The reason I would
I
put it in
would say-
situational is because it's too expensive. I think.
I would say decent, even though it is expensive. You are using that Spirit Blade situation again, where
Yeah.
you'll
Yeah.
still get some sort of damage buff from pretty decent damage already. So I would say this will go in situational. I mean, not situational, decent.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. Hey, welcome back, Echo Effect again.
Oh boy. Echo
So
up to
we're
5.
Yeah.
Echo
parry
weakness
saves.
versus for
They
weakness.
love him. Echo
Some meat
weaknesses, garbage, maybe even abyss.
Yeah, you would have to threefold spam on a balance for that.
Yep. Yep.
Or wait, no, it would be you would use this against a threefold spammer. Never mind.
Yep. It's
Yeah. I don't know
not
about
that
all
good. I would
I'd
say
put it
top
in,
top
yeah.
half is still way better in so many ways. It gives me more
Yeah.
value.
The damage
I would
is
say this
so
will go to the
bad, and
abyss.
yeah, abyss for this one.
Yeah, toss it in.
Like I don't think like even if you were to
And I
buff
thought
it, like I don't think that'll
Storms-
fix anything.
I
I
thought
don't think
Storms
that'll
was the
fix
worst one,
anything.
and I thought Storms was the worst one
No.
for a sec, dude.
I would second worst.
Yeah.
If we're talking
We're at
purely
that point.
PvE, second
Yeah,
worst.
for sure.
All right, so here's the tier list as it is right now. Is there anything you may want to change? Like anything you
Yeah,
may
let me
want to
pull it
move
up.
up or down?
Let me pull it up real quick.
Really hard to see because there's a lot of spells.
Oh yeah. From a PvE standpoint, I like what we've got.
Yeah, I kind of like it. You maybe could move. I don't know. I would say troll if it wasn't fixed. Would probably throw in vanilla bean, but I guess it's fixed. So
It is
For
fixed, so
sure.
like I would say evil snowman goes up here.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, I would say evil snowman goes up there at most. I'm looking at it. I kind of like the list kind of the way it is right now.
I would maybe consider
Yeah.
putting. I would maybe consider putting Basilisk in vanilla bean. That's the only other one, but I kind of like it how it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the fact that you can remove so many shields, just remove so many defenses, still do a decent bit of damage. You get defenses for yourself for some reason
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
it's like
it's
I,
pretty
I would use
vanilla.
that just to like I would spend
pretty
9 pips on that. I would spend 9
I
pips
would
on
put
that.
a-
Like even if my damage got countered, I would spend 9 pips just to clear that many shields.
Yeah, it's pretty vanilla as vanilla goes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you see anything that may want to go to the please buff category maybe?
Um,
I don't even know. There's a lot of
Cyclops
stuff
minion.
that-
Put buff
Yeah.
minions.
I'll
That's
say
what I
yeah,
think.
any minion in general. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Gotta
for
go
sure.
with please buff. We can move please buff as well. But yeah, I mean, I think this is a pretty overall solid list. Of course, guys, like we're not saying like, oh yeah, these spells are worse than other ones or anything like. This is kind of like just based on the spell. They're all kind of around the same tier. If we go like by the specifics about like, oh, let's say for example, oh, Centaur is just way better than all these spells, we will be here all day. But this
Yeah,
is just like a
no.
general, what we have, based on potential viability in PvE. But yeah, I mean, I think overall this is a pretty solid list. Like if we're just purely talking about PvE potential,
Yeah, I'm
I
happy
think
with it.
yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, it looks good to me.
Looks good. Looks good. All right.
Yep.
Well, guys, I think that will be it for the stream. Pretty decently sized stream. We're talking about like around 2 hours of just going
Yeah.
through a bajillion spells. And we missed out on a
Yep.
couple. We missed out on some lore spells because obviously, like, not everyone can necessarily get lore spells.
Yeah, like
And some of the
Newberry, for
trainable
example.
golems and stuff. Yeah.
New
Some of the
bear is
trainable golem
insane.
stuff as well, just because the spell elements are kind of locked behind Beast Moon, and not everyone can necessarily do Beast Moon. I mean, they technically can, but to get to the point where they can upgrade it, like, I just
It's a lot
can't
of
really
work.
assume that everyone has them
Yeah.
at the wazoo. But yeah, this is essentially our list. Let us know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with the list, any changes you may want to make. But as always, I'd like to thank both Pluto and Icegold for joining me today in this tier list making.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for inviting
you.
us, Frenzy. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for being here. As always, y'all, I'm going to leave it off here. Remember, if you haven't liked the stream, make sure to like the stream. Subscribe to both Icegold and Pluto. Links to their channels are in the description. And as always, to everyone watching, remember to stay frenzy and peace.
All right, now for me to say bye to my chat. All right. See you, everyone. Make sure you guys check out Frenzy. Make sure you guys check out Icegold. Give him a sub. Tell him I sent you. Comment on the video your thoughts on our tier list. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the next stream. Maybe it'll probably be a few months from now. So,
No.
but yeah, it'll be a while.
That's crazy.
But see you guys in the
wild.
next stream or in the next video.